So, in this video I'm going to show you the home screen tricks on Vivo X300. Okay, to launch the menu for our customization, we just need to simply hold on an empty space on our screen. Now we can quickly change the wallpaper, also the color and style. We can change the widgets and open up the settings. We can also see an interesting thing on the top, shake to organize icons on this page. So let's try to do it. Okay, and you can see that they have moved into the top side of our screen. A pretty cool thing, actually. Let's go first into color and style. In here you can apply system and app UI icons, color, I'm sorry. In here you have possible colors that you can set, but you need to wait a little bit until they are applied. And now you can take a look that this color has been successfully set. Next thing is possibility to apply color to the icons. So now they will look just like that. Some people like it, some people don't. It's up to you. Now you know how you can change it. In my case, I'll stick to normal icons. Now let's go with the widgets. It's one of my favorite things possible to add. In here we have a list of apps of which we can add a widget. You can see that it's pretty long. And let's try to add, for example, a widget of the clock. You can see that we have 9 styles of those widgets. So for example, let's try to add maybe this one. Oh, actually this one's pretty bad. I want this one. Click on add and it has appeared on our home screen. We can place it anywhere that we want. Simply grab it using your finger and place it anywhere that you want. For example, right in here. Let's try to add another one. For example, the health. Okay, click on add, and it has also appeared, as you can see, on your home screen. Pretty easy thing. I always use some widgets because I simply like them and they look pretty cool. From here we can also go into the settings and we can change the home screen style from drawer, in my case, into standard, for example. But first let me show you what the drawer mode means. So currently when I'm on my home screen and I'll slide to the upside and now to the left side, I have this app drawer, simply list of all of apps installed on my device. If I would change it into standard style, click on switch. Now, when I'm sliding to the upside, you can see that nothing happens. So that's the difference. You just need to simply use the style that you want the most. I'll stick to the drawer. I'm a little bit annoyed that each time I need to open up the settings from here, so I'll do it from here and it will be much faster. Home screen. And now home settings. Okay, we can change the layout also. Down below we can see possible modes: 5-on-6, 4-on-7 or 4-on-6. We have also the sliding effects. We have shift, fade. You can notice on the screen a preview how each mode works. We have the press, we have the rotate, we have the merry-go-round, cube, another cube, and also the flip. So you can select the transition effect for yourself. I'll stick to the shift. If we lock layout, we won't be able to simply move any of our app and also anything on our screen. Sometimes it's good because let's say that we create our perfect preset. We have organized everything that we want in our way, and now nothing wrong will happen into our layout. Nothing will be moved by an accident. So sometimes it's good to have that thing enabled. For now, I will turn it off. Down below we have the icon autofill. Items in folders are still automatically arranged by default in icon mode. I have shown you shake to arrange icons. And basically that's all. We have also icon badges. We can keep them enabled or disabled. It's up to you. Down below you can change the display mode, dot or the number. In here down below we have a list of apps that supports the badges. Alright, and that's all in this video. Thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment and subscribe.
Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I will show you how to fix battery drain on the Vivo X300. Let's begin. And luckily for us, this video doesn't really have to be very long, because Vivo actually went and gave away all important settings just in one single place. And we can find them if we scroll down into settings, then battery, and then we have something called power saving management. And as you can see here, we have all the settings we really need. And we can starting off with the auto turn on battery saver. Now the battery saver itself is a whole other can of worms, yeah, I think that's how we say it, and it will basically just save your battery even further, which we can enable by just going here into battery usage and just going with that bar slightly lower. So as you can see, we can only have two different modes, like you can't have this in the middle between battery saver and balance. It will automatically snap out into one or other. But having this enabled automatically is very useful, and luckily for us, we can just do that by enabling this, and then you can choose the threshold in which the auto turn on battery saver will actually turn on. So currently it will turn on whenever my battery drops below 50%, and I think that's pretty cool. Now we have the other setting that comes into pair, and it's the battery saver auto turn off, which will automatically turn off a battery saver. And as you can see, it will not be resumed if the battery level is above 60 when charging ends, or when the battery level starts above 60 and reaches 100. So you can enable this, but I'm going to keep this disabled just in case. Now we have something very important, and it's the shorten auto lock screen time. Now of course, if you don't really like having this set on like 30 seconds, well, that's completely okay. We can go into our display brightness and eye protection, and inside here we have the auto lock. As you can see, it is set to 10 minutes, which means that if I would just go away and leave the phone like that, it would still be on for more than 10 minutes, and that's just too much of battery power wasted, just showing nothing to no one. So I would advise you to keep that generally low. For example, 1 minute is usually okay, and it's usually enough, because, like, generally speaking, the lower the value here, the lower the battery usage. Anyway, we can go back to battery settings and saving management. So if you want, you can just enable this or manually lower down the values yourself. Now we have the reduced screen refresh rate, and this is something very important that many people miss, apparently. Because usually you have your refresh rate set between 60 and usually 100 or 120. But truth be told, if you're not used to it, you will probably not really see a difference. So if you enable this, not only will you still have a relatively fast response speed and just general great look of your device, but you will also have half the refresh rate, which means that your screen will get half the battery that it needs to, and the other half can be spent however you please, which is very cool. And lastly, we have also turn on dark mode, which will do what it says it will do. So it will automatically enable the dark mode whenever the battery saver is on. However, for even greater battery drain fixing, I would just advise you to go into your display brightness and eye protection right now, go into the dark Oh, sorry about that. Dark mode settings. And we can just enable it in here, and we can also technically go into scheduled switch. So if you don't want, you can always make it so it's automatically changing. But like, why does it help with the battery? And that's actually pretty easy. First of all, whenever you input, sorry, what I'm talking about? Whenever you change the pixel brightness, well, every single white pixel, or just generally speaking, every single bright pixel is going to well, get used by more battery because it's just whiter, and yeah, it just needs to have more battery in order to display itself. However, we can, if we switch from light to dark modes, then majority of our pixels on our screen are darker, which means that they aren't really using as much battery as they used to before, and your battery is just literally fixed like this. Seriously. Technically, we could go even further by, for example, going into our background power control, and as you can see, you can manually make sure that, like, Facebook doesn't really do anything in the background. It's completely fine. But generally speaking, all of these settings should be enough to make your battery drain go away. Wait, well, that was actually a rhyme, was it? Nice. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you have more tips and tricks for battery drain fixes, make sure to share them down in the comments below. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time. Bye.
Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix the low volume problem on your Vivo X300. So first, what you guys want to do is adjust the media and the call volume in the settings. So, the call volume cannot be changed in the settings, but you guys can change it while being in an active call. So, as you guys can see, let's go over to the settings, select sound and vibration, and here we can only adjust the media volume. As you guys can see, mine is adjusted perfectly up to 50%, and you guys can also max it all out to see if that makes any difference. Now, here we have the do not disturb mode. Now, as you guys can see, I would recommend you guys disabling it because it can also cause the low volume problems. So, you don't want it enabled, you don't want to see the moon icon right here, you want it disabled and see if that makes the difference. If not, then maybe it's the issue of your speakers being stuffed with dirt, debris or lint. So here we have the first grills, we have 3 dots, so we can call them dots. And here we have the bigger speaker grill. We need to make sure that it is clean. And if it's not, then I would recommend cleaning it with a soft brush or an air compressor. But the soft brush definitely does its job much better. Now, moving on, what you guys can do is restart the phone. So, hold the power button and the volume up button at the same time. Now, swipe right to restart it. And as you guys can see, we have to wait now. So, I'll see you guys in a second. Now, after the restart, what you guys can do as a last resort is check for software updates. So let's quickly enter the password if you guys have one, and then move on to the settings. Here we're gonna scroll down until we see the system update. It's almost at the bottom, and it will check automatically if you have the latest version. As you guys can see, I do, but if you don't, then you will see a button here to basically install it. So that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, subscription, and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hi everyone, in front of me I've got Vivo X300 and let me share with you how to virus scan your device. So the virus scan, fortunately, it is not a really complicated operation. Nowadays we've got special apps for that, and fortunately in this device we've got it provided by the developer, so we do not have to download it. All you have to do is to open the list of all apps and scroll to find iManager. For sure you've got one, try to find it. So just tap on it. And here we've got this option security scan, so just tap. Now your device will immediately scan itself in order to find any kind of problems, viruses, malware, etc. As you can see, in my case, I've got some kind of system vulnerabilities, probably because I do not have a screen lock applied. Yes, exactly. That's what's the danger here in this device is. However, you can see the point of the security scan. It will scan basically everything, and after that it will show you the information, the results. Usually it will simply show you the green icon and say that everything is secure. However, if not, your device will also show you the steps which you should take in order to get rid of the risk, as like in my case, I have to set the lock screen password. Alright, so that will be all. Thank you so much for watching.
Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video I will show you how to fix your auto brightness not working on the Vivo X300. Let's begin! And all you want to do is you can just expand the control center, and in here we have our brightness bar, and all you want to do is just enable that A button, which will enable, you guessed it, auto brightness. Now, if you for any reason you can't do that, we also have the other way of doing that, and it's by simply going into the settings, then going into display brightness and eye protection, and finally we have auto brightness right here as well. And if that still ain't working for whatever reason, just make sure that your sensors here are pretty clean. I'm going to use some sort of microfiber cloth like this to give it a little rub, because in that camera lenses are hidden the light levels, or light sensors that are detecting light levels and accordingly then feeding that information into the auto brightness feature. Anyway, that's all for this video. Yeah, if you found it useful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Hi everyone, in front of me I've got Vivo X300 and let me share with you how to free up space without the need to remove apps. So let's start with removing cache. Let's open the settings, and here we have to scroll and find apps. Then let's go to App Manager, and this is the list of all installed apps, and what I highly recommend to do is to go through all of them and remove cache. So for example, let me go to iManager, tap on Storage, and here we've got this cache section. Simply tap on Clear Cache, your device will immediately remove it. Basically, cache are junk files which are saved by your device, but they are not necessary for the proper usage of the app. So removing cache in all of those apps listed here will release a lot of memory. After that, I highly recommend to soft reset your device, or basically simply turn it off and then on. Simply press the power button and volume up button together once, so something like that, and go with restart option in order to confirm all of the changes. Moreover, I highly recommend to check the iManager. iManager is pre-installed by your developer, so you do not have to use any kind of third-party apps. Just open the list of apps and find iManager. Let's open it. So here we've got something called Free Up More Space, or the Space Cleanup. So you have to simply open it, and your device will scan for junk files, for those which are not really useful. You can simply tap on Clean Up All, but you can also view details, so you will be able to quickly check whether it's okay to remove something. As you can see, here we've got something called useless applications. Here we've got also cache junk, etc. So you can simply do it. Here you've got also app cleanup, but let's ignore it as we would like to leave apps without any kind of harm or something like that. And here we've got also file cleanup, something like image cleanup, video cleanup. Usually we've got a lot of space here saved in photos or videos. I also highly recommend to check duplicated files and large files, because sometimes they are occupying a lot of memory. Another thing which is not listed right here are downloads, because let's be honest, usually we are downloading a lot of stuff and after that we forget about it, but well, it's still saved in downloads. So what I highly recommend to do is to simply open your file manager. It doesn't matter whether you use this provided by the developer or from Google or any third-party file manager. Just open it and give all the permissions and find the section with the downloads. And do we have something here like that? Quick access. Here we've got downloads. Let's tap on it. And as you can see, here we've got a lot of things which are downloaded: images, videos, documents, audio, etc. And I highly recommend to go through all of those sections and to remove the things which are not necessary at all. And as a last advice, I'd like to focus on the backup. I will not show you the full path and full operation, but because we've got a separate video for that, I just wanted to mention that you could consider the backup, because not only you will store your images and videos in a safe place, because if something's wrong with your device, you will still have the access to your own files. And the second advantage is that you will be also able to remove your photos and videos from the internal storage of your phone, which means that you will release memory, and thanks to it, you will not need to remove apps. All right, and that will be all. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and leave the thumbs up.
Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you the battery saving tips that actually work on your Vivo X300 and Vivo X300 Pro. So first, let's enable the battery saver mode. So open up the settings app. Here in the settings, we need to scroll a bit down until we see the battery. It's right between the RAM and storage and ultra game mode. You guys can see it at the bottom of this section right here. Now we want to tap on the battery saver, or we can just switch by sliding our finger. Now if this isn't enough, then what you guys can do is enable super battery saver, and let's click on agree and I'll show you what happens. Now I'll click on close, and here we have all the apps that we can use. So phone, messages, clock, contacts, and here we can add 4 apps only. Or if we delete those, then we will be able to add 8 apps. So if you actually want to save your battery, just like that, you guys won't add some YouTube, TikToks, Spotify's, or whatever. Only the important things, like for example, easy share, like camera, and albums for an example. You guys don't need to fill everything out. You guys can use, let's say, 3 apps, and you will save your battery even more. Now let's leave this mode, and in my opinion, the battery saver is definitely enough for this type of device. This device is very powerful. Now what we can do is we can disable the background apps. So in the battery settings, let me quickly change it to balanced again so the screen is white. Let's scroll down, and here we have the background power control. Now here we can set up the settings, so restrict high power consumption in background, and you guys can basically adjust it here, or you guys can go into the usage. Now here you will see the battery usage by app, and here we will go over, and here we can click on stop running in background to actually save the battery. So for an example, we need to go to the Vivo account in my case. Click here and ended Vivo account running in the background. Now here in the more, you will have more specific things about how much battery it uses and what uses the battery for the app. Now, after testing it out and disabling the background apps, what you guys can do is lower your screen brightness. So you guys can pull up the notification shade or the control center, however you want to call it, and adjust the screen brightness right here by sliding with your finger. So as you guys can see, now it's completely dark, and now it's too bright. So you guys can either change it like that, or you guys can go into the settings and go to display brightness and eye protection. Now here you guys can change it, and it's totally up to you how you want to set it up. Now, what you guys can also do is go over and alternatively enable the auto brightness, so the phone will adjust it based on the lighting conditions. So you guys can enable it, and as you guys can see, I feel like this is perfect. So you guys can either manually adjust it or enable auto brightness to do it for you. Now let's talk about some unnecessary features if you want to save your battery. So for an example, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and location services can actually drain your battery, and if they are left on unnecessarily, then I would recommend you guys turning them off when you're not using them. So let's open up the control center. Now let's swipe up even more, and here we have the location. Now we can click on it. Here we have the Wi-Fi, and now our Wi-Fi is disabled. As you guys can see, the Wi-Fi icon disappeared from the status bar. And here we have the Bluetooth, but Bluetooth is already turned off. So that's what you guys can do with it. Now whenever you need to enable the Wi-Fi, then you will just enable Wi-Fi only, or if you want to listen to music and you got it downloaded, you guys can easily just use Bluetooth only and disable the Wi-Fi. Now, what you guys can do is use power saving features in apps. So I cannot show to you exactly because I have no idea what apps you are using on your device, but some apps actually have a built-in power saving modes such as Instagram, TikTok, so they don't drain your battery that much. You guys can change anything up to yourself, and basically you can also go over into the settings, and whenever you see them in the battery usage, which I've showed you previously, in the battery, and then in here, if you see an app like this, you guys can just disable the background of it so it won't run in the background. And what you guys can do as a last resort is enable the dark mode, but it's totally up to your preference. You guys can do it in the display brightness and eye protection. You guys can click on the dark mode, and now our dark mode is here. So it's a bit up to your preference. You either can choose light mode or dark mode, and that's basically it. So these are the tips that actually work for this device. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, subscription and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hello everyone, welcome to the HardReset channel, and today I'm going to show you how to boost gaming performance on the Vivo X300. So if you want to boost gaming performance while playing games, there is actually a designated feature for that, and to enable it we're going to go to the control center and then extend it like this. And here we have Ultra Game Mode. So if we enable this option, it's going to do pretty much everything to make your gaming experience a lot better. So if we then tap and hold this little icon right here with the Ultra Game Mode, it's going to take us to the settings. And here we have a bunch of settings like supported games. So if you have any games installed and you want and they weren't supported automatically, you can just tap this toggle right here to enable Ultra Gaming Mode with this game. So then we're going to go with Game Super Resolution, and this is an option that is basically upscaling. So it's going to make the resolution of the image a lot better, and there isn't really a big list of supported games. I think this is pretty much everything that is supported. So you can just tap install right here right away and start installing the game from this screen. So then we have game frame interpolation, which is basically an option that is called variable refresh rate. So it means that it has basically unlimited frame rate. So maybe a game is capped at 60 FPS, it's going to just exceed above that and make it about 120 or something like that. So if you want this option, this is a list of supported games. I'm sure there will be more in the future, but this is everything for now. Then we have game visual enhancement, which is just like a color filter for some games. And this is pretty much supported in every game because all it does is just change the colors a little. You have esports mode, which is just like do not disturb and things like that. So it disables some background operation. It enables do not disturb. You have optimized control, which is like some little controls that you can do while playing. You have brightness lock, adaptive frame rate, and temperature. And here's a list of supported games. So pretty much every feature has a list of supported games. So then you have off-screen autoplay, which is what it says right here. Bring up ultra mode in games to enable off-screen autoplay. So games keep running when the screen is off. And that means, for example, when you turn off your phone and you log back in, and sometimes the game just restarts and you might lose progress or just wait a little to get back to playing. But this option prevents that. And if you turn off your phone and turn it back on, the game shouldn't restart. So then down here we have game countdown, which is just this option right here. So if you are waiting during gameplay and switch the game to the background, the system will display the required waiting time in real life. So this is basically just an option for AFK games or maybe like clickers where you need to wait for something and you can just turn the app off and it's going to notify you when you're actually ready to complete an action, which is actually pretty useful. Then you have control settings. So this is a setting that maybe turns up the sensitivity of the or turns it down depending on the game. Turns up or down the sensitivity of the screen of your touching. So then we also have the game sound quality and effects. So you can change the quality of sound, maybe like some surround sound. You can have ear customization options, which you can change for yourself. You have game picture-in-picture, which, for example, when you're playing, you can have a little window floating right here with a video or something like that. And then we have frame rate priority. So when frame rate priority is enabled, the resolution of the game will be reduced to ensure smooth gameplay. So it prioritizes frame rate over quality. So then we have screen mistouch prevention, which is also one of the important ones. So maybe you by accident slid like this and open up something during gaming. And if you want to prevent doing that, you can shrink trigger area in status bar or disable 3-finger screenshot. So just do both of these toggles. And that is pretty much it for the Ultra Game Mode. These are all of the settings that you can play around with to increase the performance. And that's about it. So thank you for watching. I hope this video helps you, and make sure to like and subscribe.
Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix the ghostage problem on your Vivo X300. So first, if you got a screen protector just like me, and if you got a case, then I recommend you guys removing it, and let me tell you why. If you have a custom made case that is not made by the Vivo company, then that might cause issues, because whenever it's touching even a tiny part of the screen, as you guys can see, let me quickly hold my finger here, and now I cannot do anything with this finger. As you guys can see, it was because I was holding this finger right here, but now I cannot do anything on the screen. And basically that's what can cause the ghost touches, because the phone may think that you're doing something, and for example, you have a ghost touch right here, then you will just open up the camera over and over. So whenever you try to leave, sometimes you can just open a camera, or whenever you're in a keyboard overlay, then you'll simply click on the search button. So now moving on to the screen protector, if it's a poor quality screen protector, if it's not original or 100% made for your phone, then that might be the issue. Sometimes if they're poor quality or they misaligned, then that can already cause the ghost touches to appear. So we definitely do not want that. Now, as a last resort, what you guys can do is update your software to fix any touch glitches. So click on the settings, and now we need to scroll all the way down until we see system update. Here it will check for the software updates automatically. As you guys can see, I have the latest version, but if you don't, then I recommend you guys updating it, as it can fix a lot, including the ghostage problems. So that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, protection in the comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to fix microphone not working on your Vivo X300. So first, what you guys want to do is clean the microphone port with a non-metallic tool. So if you use something metallic, then you can only damage the port even more, and we definitely do not want that. So what you guys can do is basically use a soft brush or anything that's just not metallic. Now after that, what you guys can do is test the mic in a voice recorder or try calling somebody up and see if your microphone is working. So let's go over and go to the tools folder. Now let me click got it, and here we will have the recorder app. So here we're just gonna agree. Now start recording. As you guys can see, here we can check if our microphone is working. So basically, if those sounds are moving, then our microphone is working. So as you guys can see, let me be quiet for a couple of seconds. It's not moving at all, and now I've started talking and it did move. So that's how we basically know that our microphone is working. But if yours isn't, then what you guys can do is restart the phone. So you hold the power button and the volume up button at the same time. Now swipe right to restart, and all you have to do now is wait for it to turn back on. So I'll see you guys in a second. Now after the restart, all you guys need to do is enter the password if you have one, and as a last resort, what you guys can do is update your software to fix any mic glitches. So open up the settings app, and here let's just scroll all the way down until you see the system update section. Now as you guys can see, I have installed the latest version already, and I do not have any updates. But if you do, then you will see them right here. You will see the download button, then you will just install it, and you will have the newest version. So that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, subscription, and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I will show you how to fix fast charging not working on the Vivo X300. Let's begin. So first of all, you want to go into your settings, then scroll down a little and enter battery. Then you can scroll down once again, go into battery health and charging, and finally we have fast charging settings. And as you can see, by default this is, if I remember correctly, disabled. So you want to just make sure that it's enabled, and now your fast charging should be working without any issues. Also, if you have troubles with fast charging but the wireless one, make sure that this is actually enabled and we know where the location is, so you have just easier time using the setting. That's basically all for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to easily fix no sound during calls on your Vivo X300. So first we're gonna unlock our device. Then if we are in an active call, what can we do? We can check the volume using the side buttons on the right. So now we can just turn the volume up if we are in an active call. And what can we do next is go over to the settings, and right here in the settings, let's go over to the sounds and vibration. Now, as you guys can see, we cannot change the call volume here. It's not available for the Vivo devices, and you can only change that while being on a call. Here you only have the media, ringtone, notifications, and alarm. So now, what you guys can do next is disable Bluetooth to rule out any connected devices. So for an example, your headphones, even being connected to a car or anything else. So you want to go over to the control center, and let me quickly lower the brightness for you guys. Here we will have the Bluetooth icon. Now if it's gray, then that means it's turned off, but now it's turned on. We can hold it, we can see the available devices, and we can also do that by going into the settings, and right here we have the Bluetooth right up top. Now let's disable it by tapping on the switch here, and what you guys can do next is clean the earpiece. So the earpiece is right here, it's very noticeable up top, and you guys can clean it with a soft brush. I do not have one with me right now, so I cannot show you the exact process of cleaning it, but all you have to do is just brush it like that and make sure that everything comes off. Now after that, what you guys can do is test it. So test the sound with another call or another call from a different app. So if you've previously used the phone app right here, then maybe it's time to check for an example WhatsApp, Instagram, anything that supports the call system. What you guys can do next is go over to the control center here and click on those two dots. Sorry, not the two dots, but the settings. Here we want to swipe down and go over here to system updates to make sure that we are running the latest version. Now as you guys can see, this phone is practically new, so of course it will have the latest version, but maybe when you need this tutorial in a couple of months, there's a new update and you can check it just by clicking here. It will check automatically, and what you guys can do next is restart the smartphone. So let's hold the power button and the volume up button at the same time. We will see this animation, and we're gonna swipe right to restart it. Now all we have to do is wait, and I'll see you guys in a second. Now after the restart, let me quickly enter my password, and now our phone should have fixed the issue with the no sound during the calls. So that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, subscription, and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to fix headphones not detected on your Vivo X300. So first we're going to talk about the USB-C headphones and the adapters. So the first thing to do is to clean the charging port. As you guys can see, we have the charging port right here, and it's very clean now because this phone is new. But when you already stuff it in dirt or anything else, then it can block the connection between the headphones and the phone. So you may even connect, but the volume will be awful, and I would recommend cleaning it because dust can definitely block the connection. And it also goes for, let's say, charging. So when you're trying to charge your phone, you won't charge it at normal speeds because it can block the connection too. So make sure to clean the charging port. Now what you guys can do next is restart the phone. So we're gonna do that now, but when we move on to the Bluetooth, we won't do that again. Do not waste your guys' time. So press the volume button, the volume up button, and the power button at the same time. Now all you have to do is press it, do not hold it, and now swipe to the right to restart the device. Now it's restarting, and I'll see you guys in a second once it restarts. Now, after the restart, we're going to talk about the adapters. So if you're not using an original one or a certified adapter, then I would recommend you guys starting using it, because some cheap adapters, or if they are just poor quality, the price doesn't matter, the quality does. So if they are a poor quality adapters, then that can already cause some issues because they can break down anytime. So you definitely want to use an original or a certified adapter for your device. Now, what you guys can do is try and test another pair of headphones for the USB-C users. Now, if everything's okay, then maybe the problem is with the phone or the headphones. So if everything's okay with the headphones and they work on another device but they don't work on this one, then that might be the issue of the charging port either being too dirty or many other things. But we'll get back to that later. Now, we're gonna go and update our software, but we're gonna do that in the Bluetooth section. Do not do that twice. And now, if you're using the Bluetooth headphones, the first thing I would recommend you guys to do is turn the Bluetooth off and on. So let's unlock the device. And here we just need to go to the settings. In the settings, let's go over and click on Bluetooth. Here, as you guys can see, it was disabled, now it's enabled, but we're gonna restart it right now. So tap on the switch until it turns gray. Now tap on it until it becomes blue and you see some available devices. What you guys can do is forget and repair the headphones if they are already connected, and you basically repair them again with the phone. You need to make sure that they are fully charged, because I've had this situation once when I wanted to connect my headphones to a device and they wouldn't connect unless they were charged up to 100%, including the case. So that was a bit of the struggle, but just a precaution, guys, to warn you that this also might happen to you. Now, I would recommend avoiding the device interference, because if you have your headphones paired to another device, then maybe they are connecting there instead of the phone. So you want to avoid other devices being connected, and as a last resort, as I've mentioned before, was update your phone's software. So in the settings, let's swipe down until you guys see system update almost at the bottom, and it will check automatically if you have the latest version. As you guys can see, I do, but if you don't, then I recommend you guys updating it. And that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, subscription, and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you the display settings you should change now on your Vivo X300 and X300 Pro. So first, we want to adjust our screen brightness. So this is a very obvious setting that we change in the settings app. Then we go over to display brightness and eye protection. Here, as you guys can see, we have the brightness, and we can adjust it manually or enable auto brightness so it automatically adapts to the light that the phone is in. So you guys can manually lower it for battery saving, or you can set it to auto so it adjusts, as I said, on the lighting conditions. So here you guys can do that. Now moving on, I think the second display setting everybody should change. If you're not using dark mode all the time, but you're only using it at night, then I would recommend you guys changing the scheduled switch. So here we have the sunset to sunrise, but this requires location. We can go over to custom and we can switch it to light at, let's say, 6:15 a.m. and this is a 24-hour clock, but this is 11 p.m. Now click on OK, and basically whenever there's time for it, let me quickly change it to 5:45. As you guys can see, we are now in the light mode, but when I change it to 37, there's a minute left. Then at the 17:47, which is 5:47, we will change it to dark. So now there it is. Now it should change up in a couple of seconds. Because of the delays, it's pretty normal if it's even delayed by a minute or two, but it's probably because we just set it up. So that's completely normal, and it's best to test whenever you're actually trying it, for an example at 11 p.m. Not now, but this definitely works as a setting. Now what you guys want to change is enable the eye comfort and protection. So you want it either scheduled or you want it turned on all the time, but all the time, as you guys can see, it looks very yellowish. So this is only when you're not on your, let's say, PC, you're not behind a TV screen, or you're just laying in bed and want to use your phone without your eyes being damaged. Here you guys can also set it custom. So for an example, you want to set it from, so the start will be at, let's say, 11 p.m. the same with the dark mode, and we're gonna have the end at 6:15 a.m. the same as the dark and light mode. Here you guys can select the eye protection adjustment. You guys can set it to smart, and it will basically filter out blue light to relieve any eye fatigue. Here you guys can also use the global. We can use the weak one, we can use the normal one, and the strong one. This is, as you guys can see, friendly for dry eyes. You can see that there's a noticeable difference in this setting right here and this setting right here. So now this is my setting, and what you guys also want to change is go into the display settings right here. Sorry, not the settings, but the section, and change auto lock to 30 or seconds or 1 minute. Because this time you don't want to waste your battery on your phone just running and you're not even using it, but it's still running the screen. And 1 minute or 30 seconds I think is actually enough. So if you forget to lock your screen, then it will automatically lock after 1 minute or after 30 seconds. Now here we have the screen saver. As you guys can see, this is a setting that you want to either enable or disable. It's totally up to you. As you guys can see, here we have the photos. Now we can see the preview, and this is how it looks. So it's completely empty now. I'll disable it. This is the setting I always disable, but this is totally up to your preference. You can set up your own pictures. And the next thing is set a different font. So it's also here in the display section. Here we have the font style. Let me quickly agree. And here, as you guys can see, I have 2 fonts, and more fonts are on the market here. So you guys can search for the font that you like. But I feel like the Vivo Sans is actually a great font. We can apply it, and as you guys can see, now it's applied. We have a different font on our phone. It looks totally different, and I'll get back to the display settings. And here we have the font size and weight. So as you guys can see, we can set it to bold for an example. We can change the font size to small, and now this is how it looks like. So we can completely transform our phone just by changing the fonts, and you guys can see how noticeable that is. We can also use the lightweight, and now our phone looks completely different too. We can use the font size like large or standard. And now let's move on from the fonts to the display size. As you guys can see, this is what you guys want to change. I always use the small one. I feel like this is the best setting for me, as I love a lot of things on the screen. And with the large settings, I basically just wouldn't have that. So the small looks like this. Of course, it also looks different here. Now for the screen resolution, you guys definitely want to use the Ultra HD instead of HD. As you guys can see, you will get a sharper display, and by changing to HD, you will have a longer battery life. So only if you're actually in a situation where you need to save your battery, then you can change it. But I would recommend running the Ultra HD all the time. Now for the screen refresh rate, you definitely want to change it to either smart adaptation or high, because whenever you're not using your phone, just like now, the screen is at 60 Hz, but whenever I start moving, then it's at 120. So we get a smoother motion and we get battery saving right when we're not using our phone. But whenever we set it on high, then now it's also 120 and our battery is just getting wasted. So smart adaptation it is. Now what you guys can do next is go over and check the display in full screen and display on top. Here you guys can change it up to your personal preference. Now display in full screen, as you guys can see, apps already adapted won't appear in the list. So this is only for apps that are not adapted. You guys can enable or disable, for an example, Netflix here. This is the only app that I have here because this phone is fresh and it doesn't have many apps installed. And here we have display on top. So here you guys can change it to, let's say, auto fit, and as you guys can see, it will judge automatically whether to avoid the front camera area to display themselves according to the content showing on their interfaces. So here we have the display front camera or hide front camera. So it's totally, as you guys can see, up to us. We can adjust it for, let's say, YouTube. So whenever I open up the YouTube, now let's click on allow and click on accept all. Let's change it to YouTube to hide front camera. And as you guys can see, it's totally different now. So this is what you guys definitely want to change for some apps, because some apps just do not fit perfectly. And this is not only for this device, but I've also had it on the iOS and I couldn't change it, but here you guys can. So this is definitely a better customizable phone. So what you guys want to do next is have fun with your device, because we are done. That's it for the video. I hope it was helpful, and I hope those display settings helped you get your way with the phone. And that's it. I hope it was helpful. Leave a like, subscription, and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I am going to tell you how you can easily fix when your pin in your Vivo X300 is not accepted, and how to fix that. So actually, there is actually no solution for this to have the no data loss. The only thing that you will have the no data loss is when you have the proof of purchase and you go physically to the brand service or authorized service and give them the proof of purchase and let them your phone unlocked and fixed. There you have to pay for it, of course. That's the paid issue. So yes, and this is the only way to have the recovery your phone without the data loss. The second option is to restart your phone to clear the temporary glitches, which is we can just check that if our phone does have any glitches. To do so, hold the power button and volume up button and swipe right to restart. This should fix our issues from time to time, because of course phones are the technology that is without any problems. Every single phone has its own problem, and yeah, that might be an issue on this phone, like not specifically, but it may occur sometimes. Don't worry. This is only a technology. Everything can have its own problems. Can have. Now, as you can see, it still doesn't. So what to do now? The only thing is that we'll have the data loss. To do so, first we need to go to the recovery mode and factory reset our phone. To do so, we have to hold the power button and the volume down button until you see the phone goes off. And when you see it goes off, replace. Wait a moment. Let's do this again. Replace the buttons to the volume up and power. As you can see, I've clicked reboot by mistake. Let's hold these two buttons at the same time again, and now click the volume up, down button and click power on the recovery mode. This is the new recovery mode, new view, not this old one, which for me was better, but yeah, it's only my subjective opinion. Here, tap this clear data option and tap clear all data. If you click that, you will be prompted if you really want to clear your data in your phone. You have to tap yes, and after that you will be having your phone resetted without any data on your phone, photos, messages, videos, etc. And you will have the setup screen. Then you have to set up your phone and remember your Gmail account and password and log in to your account here. Here, as you can see, in every single device that's new, we do have something like Google FRP, and there are some bypasses for it, but I don't recommend to bypass it. Just remember your Google password and Google email, and you'll be all done. If you don't really want to clear data and you want to go back, tap restart on OK. And that's it. Hope it helps you, and goodbye. Have a nice day. Hi everybody, welcome back to the HardReset.Info channel. Today I'm gonna tell you what to do when you have forgotten your lock screen password. So actually, here we do have wait a moment, something called, when we enter our password wrong a few times, we do have something like here, forgot password. If you tap it, as you can see, the only thing that you can do is to factory reset your phone. If you don't want to reset your phone, you can easily go to this website, po.com/en/password, to contact their after-sales service when you don't want to lose your data. So contact them and they will do their job. But if you don't care about your data, what I do recommend is to do a factory reset. To do so, hold the power button and volume down button until you see the phone goes off. Now replace the volume up with the volume up, and we should see this menu. Click the volume down button and click power button to confirm going into the recovery mode. As the name says, this is the mode to recover our phone from every single error. Now we are here. Here, as you can see, we have something called install software, clear data, check system, enter safe mode, power off, and restart. Here, tap clear data, clear all data, and after a few seconds, your OS will be cleared. And actually, that's it. I won't clear my data because I need this phone and the data on it right now. But you just have to do a few clicks and then turn on your phone and do the setup process back again. Of course, you have to remember your password to your Google account that you have added previously to this phone to do the setup process. This is something called Google FRP. This is something that all phones have currently, and you can't. I mean, there are some bypasses, but it's very difficult to find the bypasses for the latest, as you can see, phones, as this one. And yeah, actually that's it. And you have to just enter your email and password to recover the access to your phone. Apart from that, as I said, contact this brand to recover your phone without the data loss, or visit the authorized service center with the proof of ownership. The proof of ownership is the most important thing that you may have, because when you want to unlock the phone without knowing its password, it looks like it was stolen, and it's very difficult to have your phone unlocked when it's stolen. And that's it. Hope it helps you and have a nice day. I hope that now your phone is locked and free to go. As I said, that's it. Hope it helps you and have a nice day. Goodbye.
Hi, it's HardReset, and today I'll show you how to use Pro mode on Vivo X300 camera. So first, go into our camera, scroll to More and then Pro, and we have a couple of options right here. The first one is exposure, so it's just the brightness of our photo. Then we have ISO, shutter speed, white balance with a couple of options right here, and the manual. And right here we have the focus. Thanks for watching, don't forget to leave a like and see you in the next one.
Hello everybody, welcome to our channel. Today I'm going to show you how to use an AI to search items using a ChatGPT. So basically, if you want to use an AI, I'll show you how to do it step by step. So there is two options. The first one is to download an AI app from the Play Store. To do it, open up your Play Store and, for example, look for a ChatGPT. That's a nice AI app. Look for exactly this one from OpenAI with 4.7 stars review and download it. You'll need to wait a little bit and that's it. Open it up and you're in a ChatGPT app and you can ask any question. For example, something like this, and it will answer simply and correct. So, and the second option is going to a ChatGPT web by using your Google. To do this, open up your Google and type into your search ChatGPT. Open it up and here you can see your ChatGPT. And here you can ask the same thing as well. Let's make something more difficult, maybe something like this. So as you can see, it can help you solve mathematics, it can answer your school questions, it can answer your home questions like how to cook something, or it can help you with setting up your phone or something like this. With any games, it can give you any advices you'll need. So basically that's it, that's how you use an AI. So thank you for watching and subscribe to our channel for more. Hello everybody, welcome to our channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to link Google Assistant to your power button on your Vivo X300. So if you want to open Google Assistant using your power button instead of saying "Hey Google" or opening the app, I'll show you how to set it up on your Vivo X300. So starting off is opening up your settings like this and scrolling down to shortcuts and accessibility. And here you can see power button. Press and hold the power button to launch power menu or launch Google Assistant. So I choose the launch Google Assistant and just hold the power off button. And as you can see, Google Assistant is working perfectly right now. So basically that's how you enable this feature. So thank you for watching and subscribe.
Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video I will show you how to improve battery life for Vivo X300. Let's begin! First, you want to simply go into your settings. Then you can scroll down a little and enter battery. Now, in here there are a couple of options that I would strongly advise you to enable, just so you have a nicer way of extending your battery life. First of all, we can go into battery health and charging, and here we have optimized battery charging. We can go in there, and here we have our charging upper limit, and as you can see, we also have the optimized based on habits enabled. So you can like copy these things, but there is one thing I would change, and it's to lower the charging limit to about 19%, for example. Though as you can see now, the based on habits option is unfortunately disabled, and we can read that when the custom value is set to this value, the smart optimization feature will not take effect, and to accurately display the battery status and level it, we may charge it to 100%. So if you really care about your battery, technically we can like lower this down to even 70%, and now our battery will never exceed that amount whenever we charge it. However, if you trust Vivo with their work, and they're doing pretty well phones, so I would say that I can trust them, we can lower it, we can make it so it's 100%, and then we can just enable optimize based on different habits. And also we can go into other charging tips, and you will see that whenever we unplug the power supply, we want to, well, unplug the power supply when the battery is fully charged. You want to charge at room temperature and in a dry environment, just so our battery has a nicer way of, well, existing. And finally, we want to avoid using our phone for long periods while it is charging. And if you really do all of these, then your battery life will be extended very, very further. Other things that you can do? Well, technically, yeah, we can go down here, and as you can see, by default we have the fast charging disabled, at least I believe so. And technically nothing really will happen if you have this enabled. However, if we do have this enabled, then our battery temperature will get probably much higher, which technically leads into shortened life spans. Do I really trust this? Maybe, and if you really care about that, you could disable this, but many people just care about having a functional and, most importantly, fast battery. So if that's your goal, make sure to enable this, but I'm personally going to keep that disabled. And technically that is all. We also have the cycle count and battery production rate also in the... And here we have the current capacity of our battery, which is pretty good. And as you can see, we have the rechargeable batteries are consumables. The capacity of a battery will gradually decrease with use over time. Battery loss varies based on usage patterns and environmental conditions, and we can try the following solutions to slow down battery loss. And as you can see, this is all I've mentioned before, plus some additional things. If you want to, you can really pause the video and read it yourself, because I don't really think there's enough reason for me to read it. Like you have the charging settings, which I just showed you earlier. We have use and maintenance, and finally we have testing and repair, and there isn't really much to talk about here. And yeah, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you found this tutorial enjoyable, and make sure to leave down in the comments below some tips and tricks about extending battery life on your Vivo device. Anyway, that's all from me. Make sure to... Oh, I already tell that. Oh yeah, I just wanted to tell you that you're awesome for watching our videos. Yeah. Anyway, that's all for me. Well, see you next time. Bye.
Hi, it's HardReset, and today I'll show you Vivo X300 battery saving tips that actually works. So first, go into the settings and scroll to the battery. Here we have the battery saver. Limit or turn background activities, visual effects features, and some network connections off. You can enable that in any time, and your battery will be consumed so much slower. If you want to disable that feature, we still have a couple of tips. So first we have the battery health and charging right here, and you can enable the fast charge so your phone will be charged a couple of times faster. Then go into the display and brightness enable the auto brightness, but I'll disable it because I don't want to flashbang you. And enable the dark mode on always enabled. Your screen will become much darker, but it will consume less battery. Then screen timeout, select one of the lower values such as 30 seconds or 1 minute. Then go into the quick settings and disable everything that you're not using. So I am using the Wi-Fi, so I won't disable it, but I don't need location, for example, hotspot, the NFC, quick share, and mobile data. And remember to always clean the background apps. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and see you in the next one.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the ROM channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the private space on your Vivo X300 and X300 Pro. So first, we're going to start off by going into the settings. So let's enable the settings. Now let's scroll down and go to security and privacy. Here we need to scroll a bit down until we see the privacy settings section, and here we will have our private space. And as you guys can see, safeguard your private information, and we will be able to move the data and download apps to our private space. And here we also have a unique fingerprint, so it's definitely private, and it's even more secure. So we need to sign in with a different account to keep our data private, secure, and separate from the main space. Let's click on enter, and the first one is we need to set up our privacy password. I'll use the pin one, but in the other password types we can set the pattern, 4-digit pin, or a mixed password. So I'll use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this password is very easy, and we even got a security alert for it. So make sure you do not use the same password as me. You need to think of something that nobody would guess. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll use this password so it's easy to remember. Now, I'll click on continue, and whenever you see that notification on your screen that you got a security alert, then I would recommend you guys changing the password. As you guys can see, here we have the security questions, and whenever we forget our privacy password, we can answer it by that. As you guys can see, what is your ideal job? What model was your first car? And what was the name of the first movie you saw in a cinema? You guys can also set a custom question. So for an example, hard reset, and then the answer will be info. And let's say, what is your ideal, let's say not job, but we're gonna go over and what was the name of your first pet? Here my answer will be Vivo for an example. Let's click next, and here we need to add a security email. You guys can of course do that later, but here you guys can enter the email and then enter the code. But since those mails are very delayed, then I won't do that right now because it will be impossible to get the code in time. Now here we have our private space. As you guys can see, we are in it. Here we can move files, we can add apps for an example. So I'll add Instagram. Let's click on add, and now we can use Instagram. But first we need to of course log in to everything back. So this is how the private space works. We can move files right here. So let's say photos, and I want to move this photo of the car right here. Let's click done and click move in. And as you guys can see, this image won't be backed up to the cloud because it's in a private space, and the cloud does not store your private things, and it's all backed up locally on your device. So here we have the isolation protection. Here we have the local storage, if we're incognito, data isolation, and everything. Here we even got the explanation how it works. So let's say background activities of apps within the private space will be hidden when you exit. And here we have the privacy password, the fingerprint verification. If we want to enable it, here we need to enter our privacy password, and we can add it. But first, of course, the security email, so I won't be able to do that now. Here we have the privacy control. like entrance settings. And here, as you guys can see, we can swipe left from the dock. We can lock screen unique fingerprint. And we can also disable or enable reset background apps, entrances from other apps like File Manager and Albums, and entrance of moved files. Here, as you guys can see, we have the permission control. We can enable or disable the Wi-Fi now. We can also do the same for the microphone and the camera. And here we have our storage. Now this is the available space, and used by private space we only use 1 GB, so it's nothing. But the Instagram is right here, so of course it's 900 megabytes. And now what we can do, we can add more apps or we can remove the files. So for an example, we want to remove this picture right here. And here in Albums, we can see that this picture is on our private space. So now, this is how you guys can use it. If you want to exit it, you just click here and you will be moved to the main screen. And that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, subscription and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the HardReset.Info channel. Today I'm going to tell you how to fix the face unlock when it's not working on your Vivo X300. So, actually, at first, what I do recommend is to take this such a thing, which is the microfiber cloth, and wipe the screen area over here. This should fix your issue. Wipe it gently, but very, very accurately. Now, when it's wiped, it should work. Let's check. As you can see, it works. But what if it doesn't work for you? What I do recommend is go to the settings and scroll down to the security and privacy over here. Tap device unlocking. Device unlocking over here, and here tap on the face. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Enter lock screen password. OK. And now you can either add alternative face, the second one, or tap clear face data. What I do recommend is just to clear your face data, because you'll reset all the maybe not cache, but all the memory that stores your face, and you'll just reset it. Here, tap add face, enroll now, and now have your face, align your face in the circle. Yes, it was me, and actually, as you can see, that's it. Tap OK, and now it should work. It works. It's that easy. But if it still doesn't work for you, what I do recommend is to ensure good lighting and just good conditions around you during your setup and use. Because as you can see, your iPhones does have actually the leader built in here, and what it does is, as you can see, recognizes your face during the night. But our Vivo can't really do it. Faces don't match, as you can see. It's because here we do have the camera, and here we do have LiDAR. So ensure good lighting during setup and use, and as the final step, if it doesn't work for you, is to update your software and to fix any camera bugs that appear on your phone. Go to the settings, go to the system update, and here, as you can see, we do have the latest version of our OS. If you do have the latest version, if you do have these problems, wait for any quick patch fix on your phone and update your OS immediately. But if you do have some pending update, update your phone. It's recommended actually, because you can fix some camera bugs, as I said. And actually, that's it for this video. Goodbye and have a nice day.
Hello, in this video I'm going to show the security tricks on Vivo X300. Okay, so first let's open up our settings. Once we are here, we need to scroll down a little until we find security and privacy. And let's begin with setting up a screen lock. So click on device unlocking and click on the screen lock. We have three types. We have pattern, pin, or strong password. You just need to simply select which type you like the most. For example, I'll show you the pin. It must be at least 4 digits, so simply create your pin and then click on next. Now re-enter it to confirm, and now our pin has been set. We can also add the fingerprint ID and face ID. Let's begin with fingerprint. I'll show you how to set it. First, I need to type my pin to confirm. And now click on use fingerprint for unlock. Click on enroll now. Click on got it. And now we need to place our finger on that sensor. And we need to start moving left and right. Simply do this round move until your fingerprint is saved. Now you can click on OK, and now our fingerprint has been successfully set. Now let's try how both things work. Let's begin with a simple pin, so simply type it, confirm, and boom, our phone gets unlocked. Now let's go with the fingerprint. Place your finger inside that circle, and our phone also gets unlocked, so everything works properly. Okay, when it comes to the face unlock, simply, if you want to add it, simply click on that, follow the instruction on the screen. All you need to do is to simply place your face inside of the frame that will appear on your screen, and your fingerprint will be, your face will be saved. Now down below we have the theft protection. It is a pretty cool thing, so let's enable that. And we have theft detection lock and the offline device lock. Both of those things are worth enabling. If you enable one of those things, you can read how it works. Same thing with the offline device lock. Both features are really useful. Down below, we also have the remote lock. We can enable that. And thanks to that, when our device gets lost or stolen, we can remotely lock our device. We need to visit that page, android.com/lock. And all we need to do to lock our device is simply type our phone number. We don't need to use a Google account or anything like that. So it's also one of my favorite things. Oh, and down below we have Find Hub. We need to make sure that it's enabled, and we have two ways how we can use it. We have the app and the web. I'll show you the web. And again, let's say that our device gets lost or stolen, and we want to remotely lock our device. Now, on any other device, because you know, I'm showing you that on the Vivo, but in a true situation, when it's lost, we need to repeat the steps that I'm showing you on any other device. And now, very important part, we need to sign in into the Google account into which we are logged in on our lost or stolen Vivo. So that's the thing that we need to do. Okay. As you can see, we have our device right in here, and we can remotely lock it. Currently, those options doesn't appear because I'm using this device. So for example, I'll show you that on the Vivo V60, you will have something like that. We can remotely secure our device. And if you click on the settings button, you can even perform a factory reset remotely. Also really cool thing. So no one will have access into our data. Okay, let's go back. Now let's go into account security, and let's click on Google account security first to see is everything okay. In here you'll be able to see some suspicious activity. Currently, as you can see, in my case, everything is fine, so I don't need to do anything. Okay, same thing with the Vivo account security, but currently I'm not even logged in. But when it comes to the Vivo account, we don't have many features in that, so that is why I'm not logged in. Let's go into app security, and let's click on Google Play Protect first. Let's perform a scan in search for potential threats. Okay, everything is fine. If something will be wrong, simply follow the instruction on the screen. It's always also good to manually perform that scan from time to time. Okay, Same thing with the security scan, click on agree once again. Now the phone will scan for potential threats and viruses. Alright, everything has been checked and everything's okay. Now the phone wants us, do we want to turn on the automatic security scan? Why not? We can turn it on. Okay. So everything is fine. Now let's click on System and Updates. It's always good to have the latest version of our software. So let's click on Google Play System Update first. Okay, and as you can see, in my case, I have an update available to download. I won't do it right now because I have other things that I want to show you, but if you have that possibility to download it, you should do this ASAP. Alright, same thing with the security update. Let's check is everything okay. And in my case, again, I have possibility to download an update. You can click on install overnight or install now. It's up to you. I'll do it later. Alright. Now, let's go into privacy settings and let's go to the private space first. Click on continue. Click on enter. And now we need to set a password for private space. If you click on other password types, you can select what you want to use. I'll use the pattern. Now we need to verify it. Now we need to set 2 security questions. You can pick the question from the list or select a custom one. It's up to you. I won't change anything. I'll simply add really easy answers. You can also add a security email address. It will be useful if you forget your privacy password. You'll be able to reset it. For now, I will skip it. Okay, and now we have our private space. In here, you can simply add some files that you would like to protect. In here, we have move files. We can add photos, documents, audio files, archives, APKs, and other files. So we'll be able to keep them in here, in a private space. If you want to exit this mode, simply click on exit. And if you go to the upside, I just need to find where it's possible to launch the private space, because it didn't tell me actually. Where can I do it? So let's get back into the settings, private space. We can also enable our fingerprint to launch the private space. Okay. Unfortunately, I think that the only way to launch it is by the settings. So yeah, I think that's the only way. And okay, next thing, app encryption. Also really useful thing. We need to verify ourselves. Above, we have the app lock time. We can click on that and select one of those 3 modes. After the screen is locked, after the screen is locked or app is closed, 1 minute after the screen is locked or app is closed. I'll select the second option. And now we can select which apps we want to encrypt. So for example, let it be YouTube. And now, when someone wants to open up our YouTube, boom, the only way to open it up is by typing the password or by placing the finger that is of course already registered. And that's the only way how you can launch the YouTube. Really useful thing. We can also hide the apps, but let me give me a second. I will turn off the YouTube in here. Okay, now the app hiding. Again, we need to verify ourselves. And now, down below, we can select which apps we want to hide. So for example, again, let it be YouTube. Click on OK. And above, we need to select the way how we want to get into those hidden apps. We can enable that feature. Swipe up with 2 fingers on home screen to view hidden apps. Really useful thing. So now, as you take a look, the YouTube disappeared. It's not in here. Even in here on that list. So now we just need to simply swipe to the upside with 2 fingers, and now we need to also verify ourselves. And in here we can find our hidden apps. Really useful thing. Okay, but for now, I will turn off the YouTube once again. Okay. Also, if you want, you can download some third-party apps from the Play Store that can help to boost your security level. I'm talking about anti-viruses apps. But remember that before downloading anything, it's always good to simply read the reviews about the app. But when it comes to me and my personal opinion, the inbuilt virus scanner that it's already installed on our device is pretty okay, and we don't need to do. And for me personally, I'm not going to download additional apps. If you are wondering how you can quickly perform a scan, simply find your iManager, and in here, click on Security Scan. That's how you can do it, really quick. Alright, and that's all in this video. Thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe.
Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I'll show you how to fix screen rotation not working on Vivo X300. Let's begin! First, you want to simply expand the control center and check the second icon, which is there by default. If you make sure that this is disabled, then if we head into any application that supports both modes, for example our calculator, we can see that no matter how many times we'll try, our screen won't rotate either direction. However, if you would expand the control center once more time and then make sure that this is enabled, we can see that now, well, it still doesn't work because I missed the button. Now everything is working without any issues whatsoever. However, there is still a slightly chance that you might have some hidden bugs, and in order to clean your phone from any bugs like this, you can just simply turn off your device, and you can do that by pressing and holding the power button. But of course, power button alone nowadays will enable you the AI assistant, which is not something we want. Instead, you want to go and press power button and volume down button at the same time, if I believe. Or power button and volume up button, because yeah, it's volume up button, sorry. It's always something different. And then you can just restart your device like this, because whenever we reboot our device, we ain't only rebooting the software but hardware as well, including the gyroscope, which is responsible for screen rotation. And while my Vivo here is restarting, I can also tell you about one more thing only, and it is the fact that not every application actually supports both portrait and landscape mode, and I believe that the best example for this are of course the games. For example, we have our typical Clash Royale, which can only be played in the portrait mode, which is this one. But then you have games like Genshin Impact or Call of Duty Mobile or whatever, and they can only be played in this landscape mode. So once again, make sure that you have the auto brightness enabled, and yeah, you are good to go. And that's all for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Hello, in this video I'm going to show you the productivity tricks on Vivo X300. Okay, let's begin. Let's open up our settings first. Let's scroll down all the way until we find shortcuts and accessibility. And let's begin with multitasking features. We have the split screen, small window, and the smart sidebar. Let's begin with the split screen first. We have a few ways how we can enter the split screen mode, but first make sure that swipe up with 3 fingers to split screen is enabled right in here. Now, let me show you how we can do it. I won't show you all of those options. I'll show you, in my opinion, the best ones and the fastest ones how to do it. Also, I'm using the three buttons navigation mode instead of gestures, so it also might be a little bit different. Okay, first let's open up some app. Now let's close it up using the button in the middle, so it keeps opened in the background. And now, to open up the app in the split screen mode, simply click on the name, and here we have the split screen mode, just like that. Pretty easy thing. Also, maybe if I'll do it like that, okay, it also works. If the app is opened in the full screen, slide with 3 fingers, and it also works, as you can see. So I think that is even faster. Okay, now we need to select the second app that we want to open up. So I will use the notes, for example, and now you can see that the screen has been perfectly split in half, and we have both apps opened at the same time. Pretty cool thing. Thanks to that, we can do 2 things at the same time. So let's say that on the top side of the screen we are counting something, for example our taxes or something like that, and on the bottom we can create a new note and quickly start noting our stuff. Pretty cool thing. It's good because we don't need to switch each time between those apps. We can simply open them at the same time. We can also adjust the size of those windows. To do it, grab this thin bar in the middle with 3 dots, just like that, and now we can adjust the size of each app. So now, for example, notes are pretty small and the calculator is much bigger. But be careful, because if you move too much, and now you can see that the calculator changed its color into gray, and now when I will release the finger, the notes will open up in the full screen. Same thing will happen when I go into the opposite direction. So remember about it. If you click on those 3 dots, you can swap the apps, change their size, and also if you are using this preset really often, I'm talking about notes and calculator opened in the split screen, you can simply click on add combination, click on add, and now we have created a shortcut. Now we don't need to open those 2 apps every time separately. We can simply click on that icon and they open already in the split screen mode. Pretty cool thing. Okay, that's when it comes to the split screen mode. We also have the smart sidebar that I was showing you in the settings. But let's make sure that it's enabled, because there's a chance that it won't be automatically turned on. You can change its transparency. Down below we have this bar. You can see that it's changing right in here. So let's say I'll put it somewhere in the middle. Okay, now as you open it up, in here we can see that we have some apps, and it's like a shortcut for most necessary apps. If you want to change those apps, click on that arrow, click on the edit, and now let's say I don't want messages, albums, and the Facebook in my sidebar, but I want instead the Chrome, Instagram, and Recorder, for example. If you want to save, click on done. Now, if you click on one of those apps in the sidebar, you can see that it opens in the floating window. That is also a pretty cool thing, because thanks to that we can also do multiple things at the same time. So let's say again that we are taking notes, and we can launch the Chrome, for example, scroll the internet, and we can quickly create a note. So it's also really cool for multitasking. We can also adjust the size of this window. If you grab on the edge, you can change its position on the screen anywhere that you want. If you click on that, the second icon on the left, you can minimize the window. You can see that it has been stacked into our edge of the screen. So I can quickly open it up and again start noting something. If you click on that icon, it will be opened in the full screen. Also, if you hold on the app from the sidebar and you move to the upside, oh, it didn't work just like I have wanted. I think now, when you move it and place it on the top side, that's the another way how you can open the apps in the split screen view. Alright, and that's all in this video. Thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment and subscribe.
Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I will show you how to fix your phone heating while charging on the Vivo X300. Let's begin. First, you want to simply go into settings. Then you can scroll down. Wait a moment here. Just pause for a moment. It's actually completely normal for your phone to heat up while you charge it. Seriously, that's just how batteries work, it's how electricity works. Whenever electricity flows into the battery, it heats up, it's completely normal. However, if you feel like the temperature is getting like stupidly high, like you can barely even hold your device, then it's really time to worry. First, like via the software, there is one thing you can make sure of, and it's hidden inside the battery health and charging. And it's the fast charging enabled. As you can see, we even have in the description that it is normal for the phone to warm up during fast charging. But when this is disabled, charging speed adjusts if the temperature is way too high. So if you are worried about the temperature, you can always disable this feature, and not only it will probably should get the temperature low enough, but it will also improve your battery life just by a little. And that's still not everything. If we go into the battery health capacity, we can check its levels, and at the very bottom we have the cycle count. Now all of these settings can be used to basically determine how old our battery is. And if it's very old, then also the temperature is kind of to be expected to be slightly lower. But once again, if you feel like it's way too hot, like you can really barely touch it without getting burned, then it's actually time to start doing something. And I will just advise you to simply turn off electricity, like unplug the charger, and maybe check if the USB-C input is actually correct, because I remember very vividly one time when I was charging, well, not my phone, but instead the Meta Quest 2, and because the port from the USB from the charger was very like, it had a little factory issue, it was like tilted to the left, and I have inputted my I have plugged my USB-C cable wrong, and like 5 minutes later I have smelled a little burning plastic. So yeah, you want to be very careful about that. And always, if you think you have like any kinds of questions that are way too specific, just you can go into any really like phone shop workshop in your area or Vivo store and ask for the battery checkup. If the factory has some sort of physical factory damage, then you can probably ask for a refund if you still have your warranty. And yeah, that's all for this video. Once again, I'm telling you that it's okay if your battery is, if your phone is heating a little bit while you charge it, and if it's just a little bit warmer than usual, then you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Hello everyone, welcome to the HardReset channel, and today I'm going to show you how to use Smart Split and floating windows on the Vivo X300. So on the Vivo X300, you have the options to use picture-in-picture mode, so there's a floating a little tab, or you can do split screen by having two tabs open at the same time. And I'm going to show you how to enable those. So we'll start with split screen, and to do that we're going to have to open up an app. It can be pretty much any app, and then we're going to go to the open tabs section, so by tapping on this little icon on the bottom left, and then we're going to tap on the arrow next to the apps icon, like this. It looks like I missed. So this screen should open up, and then we're going to enable split screen. So the first app has been opened, and then we need to select the second app. And once again, it can be pretty much any app you want. So I'm going to use, let's say, Gmail. And here, as you can see, 2 apps are now open at the same time. You can hold on the 3 dots right here to resize them, like this. So you can make one window bigger, other smaller. Or we can also change the the position. So we can do one app on the top, one app on the bottom, or the other way around. So to enable floating window mode, you can either do that if you have split screen enabled. You can do that by just holding the app and dragging it into the other window, and smaller window will be enabled, as you can see. But there's also another way to do this, by opening up an app and then going back to the opened app collection by pressing on this icon on the bottom left, sorry, and then pressing the arrow icon next to the app icon once again, and tapping small window. And here, as you can see, the window is now open. You can fully use it, and you can, for example, minimize it, make it full screen, or you can just close it down like this, or dragging it down to the bottom to the trash can icon. And that is pretty much it. This is how you do it. So thank you for watching. I hope this video helps you, and make sure to like and subscribe.
Hi everyone, in front of me I've got Vivo X300 and let me share with you how to use secret codes on this device. So let's start with opening the dialer, and let's begin with the shortest code. The first one is *#06#. And as you can see by this code, we are provided with both the main numbers and the serial number of this device. So let's tap on OK, and now another code, which is *#09#. And thanks to this code, we can again check emails, but also barcode, the software built version, and we can also scan those QR codes, and we've got the serial number here. Let's go back and let me show you another code which will open the engineering mode, I believe. I mean, we will be able to test our device. And the code for it is *558#. And here we've got engineer menu, and here we can of course enter the settings and read the privacy terms if you wish. And we can also open OQC test. We should scan this code firstly, but simply tap on the we have scanned it. Here let's tap on the test, and as you can see, we can check specific sections of our device. They are not really that much advanced, but still we can, for example, check the email and whether if your device shown you the numbers correctly, simply mark it as normal. This is how you can check different components of your device. You can also open phone info, and it was also normal, Bluetooth test, and RTC time test, for example, and that was normal. So this is how this section works. Another code which I can show you is *##, #225###. And here we are in the version test, so we can again check some technical information. Again, the barcode, serial number, secure boot, both the main numbers, as you can see, it's quite important, and different information. Another code is for testing mode, and it is *##, 4636 ###. And here we are in the testing mode, so again, technical information. We can check some phone info, such as again email number, The voice service, for example, we can show signal strength, run ping test here, and after tapping on the 3 dots icon, we can show view fixed dialing numbers or enable data connection. Be aware, because you will be able to check all of that if you've got your SIM card inserted. I do not have this information because I do not have my SIM. And for example, we've got also Wi-Fi information. We can check the API configuration and the status. Let me tap on status. Let's refresh the stats. And here we've got the things called, connected with the Wi-Fi, like the network state, SSID, or network ID. We can also run ping test here. Let me go back and let me show you the last code, which is *### 426 #*#*. And here we are in the diagnostics, so we can check the server, host port, time connected, and tap on events to check some further details. We can also tap on the 3 dots icon and tap on advanced view, tap on the status, and here we've got much more information. So for example, the heartbeat, last ping, or HB algorithm. Alright, so that will be all. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and leave the thumbs up.
Hello everybody, welcome to our channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to use reverse wireless charging on your Vivo X300. So basically, reverse wireless charging is a feature to charge other phones with your own phone. And to turn it on, you'll simply need to open up your settings, scroll down here to battery, down here to battery health and charging, and here you can see reverse wireless charging. Wirelessly charge other devices, turn off automatically if unused for a while. So if you want to charge someone's phone with your own phone, don't forget to turn on the reverse wireless charging. So basically that's it. What you'll need to know more is you'll need to turn on the wireless charging on the phone you want to charge, so make sure to do that. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to the HardReset.Info channel. Today I am going to tell you how you can easily fix your fingerprint sensor when it's not working on your Vivo X300. Firstly, we have to go to the settings. Now we have to scroll down to the security and privacy. Tap it, and here tap on device unlocking. Tap fingerprint, and now enter your lock screen password. It's not good password. Here OK. And here now actually we do have our fingerprint added. And what I do recommend is not adding another fingerprint. What I do recommend is to tap on the old fingerprint, tap delete, and tap and re-register your fingerprint and add new one. And roll now. Got it. And just place your finger that you want to unlock your phone on the fingerprint sensor, which is underneath the screen over here. You can see the status here. Move your finger sometimes on the fingerprint sensor and then tap OK here. Close your phone, place your finger on the touch sensor. It should work for you. But if it still doesn't, what I do recommend is taking a microfiber cloth like this one and wipe the touch area on the fingerprint sensor. Now, as you can see, the whole screen can be dirty, but this is clear and well seen through the fingerprint. Now we can place our finger and it works very well. That's nice. Apart from that, what I do recommend, if it still doesn't work, is to remove any screen protector that you have on this phone. Even though if you have bought your screen protector for $100 or $50 or $20, remove it, please. I mean, I don't really want to waste your money, but what I do recommend to you is that any unofficial screen protectors or uncertified screen protectors or too tough screen protectors can interfere with your screen, and it just won't work. So yeah, it's sad, but unfortunately it's true. And as the final step, go to the settings, scroll in all the way down here, tap system and update update your system to the latest version. Doesn't matter if here you have the Android 15 or 16, the latest version is the version you should have. And always check for the latest versions with the internet, because without the internet you won't check for the latest versions. And why would you need that? Sometimes the companies like Vivo, such as Vivo, Oppo, or maybe every other company that produces phones, apart from releasing the brand new OS, like here we have Android 16 or even OS 6, they do release quick patch fixes for their OS, and here, as you can see, we have quite a new OS actually, and it may need some fixes, and for your device maybe Fingerprint won't work. And as I said, maybe not as I said, but that's it. Hope it helps you, and have a nice day. Goodbye!
Hello, in this video I'm going to show you the top tricks on the Vivo X300. Alright, let's open up our settings and let's scroll down until we find shortcuts and accessibility. And in here I'll show you, in my opinion, the most interesting things that we have. Let's begin with super dragging. Let's tap on that, make sure that it's enabled. Down below you have a list of apps which support that feature. In here we can read how it works. So when app dragging is enabled, you can tap and hold text, images and other content in small windows and split screen to drag them among apps for transfer. Pretty cool thing. And we can also tap and hold it and drag it into the origin island. And I'll show you how it works. So let's begin with the Chrome maybe. Let's find some article about the text. So for example, in here we can hold and select that text first. Now hold it using your finger, and now we can place it in our origin island. In here you have a list of apps into which you can copy it. So for example, let's place it on Google search, and you can see that the text has been automatically copied, and a new and the Google app launched, and the text has been automatically copied. Pretty cool thing. And now let's try maybe with the with other app. So again, hold, and now for example let's select a new note, and it has opened in the floating window. Now let's add to a new note, and it also has been copied, as you can see. Pretty cool thing. The notes opened in the floating window. Of course, we can change the size of this window when we grab it on the edge. We can change its position anywhere that we want on the screen. We can minimize it. Now it's tagged to the edge of our screen. If you tap on it, it launches once again. If you expand, you can open up it in the full screen mode. Pretty cool thing. Okay. Next thing is super screenshot. In here we have a few ways how we can take a screenshot. The normal way, as you know, is simply by clicking the power button and volume down button. That's the most common way. And in here we have a preview how we can do it. We can swipe with our 3 fingers to take a screenshot, just like that. Second thing is that normal method. Third thing is sliding and holding on the screen. And now we can take a partial screenshot. We can simply select the part of the screen that we want to take a screenshot of. So let's say I only want that part. Now, to save it, hit this button in the top right corner, and now it also has been saved. Pretty easy thing. And now we need to hold just like that, and we can also create a partial screenshot. Actually, I don't know what is the difference between that method and that method, because it's also a partial screenshot, so I don't know, weird thing, but now you know how to use it. Okay, but to use it, make sure that gesture screenshot is enabled right in here. If you want, you can enable those two functions, auto delete shared screenshots or overwrite the original. It's up to you. That's when it comes to the screenshots. Now we have the origin player, show on original island and show on lock screen. During playback, you can view and use origin player on origin island, and show on lock screen. During playback, you can view and use origin player on the lock screen. It's up to you, do you want to use it or not. If you want, you can enable or disable that. Okay, next thing is the smart motion. Also like that, we have the smart screen or on or off, and we have things such as raise to wake, double tap to wake, keep screen on while viewing, or double tap to turn off. Now let's begin with the raise to wake. So now when our phone is laying flat just like that and the screen is turned off, now to turn on the screen, we just need to simply raise our device, and as you can see, the screen has launched. Pretty useful thing. Next thing is double tap to wake, also one of my favorites. You just need to double tap to launch your screen. It also works pretty nice. I'll show you also the double tap to turn off. Double tap a blank area on the locked interface or standby interface to turn off the screen. And now it works in both ways. Also pretty cool thing. Okay, that's when it comes to the smart motion. We also have the smart calling and things such as smart answer, smart switch, smart mute, or wait for hands free. When it comes to smart answer, when our phone is calling, to answer the call, all we need to do is to simply grab our phone just like that, place it near your ear, and the call should be answered. When it comes to the smart switch, during hands-free calls, lift phone to ear to switch to handset. We also have the smart mute, cover the screen with your hand to mute incoming call. So now simply, if someone is calling us, we just need to simply cover the screen just like that using our hand, and the call will be muted. Now wave for hands-free. When there's an incoming call, wave your palm across the top of the phone 2 centimeters to 4 centimeters to answer hands-free. Also pretty cool. Worth enabling. And now we have shake for torch. That's the alternate way how we can launch our torch. Simply shake your phone to launch the flashlight, but you need to be on your home screen or on your lock screen. I'm wondering, can I turn it off the same way? No, unfortunately not. We can only launch it. That's a shame, because it would be better if you could also turn it off by performing the same gesture, but we cannot have everything. Okay, we also have the quick action. When the screen is off, press and hold the volume down button to enable specified features. Currently, turn on or off torch feature is enabled, so when the screen is off, I'll hold volume down button, and the torch launches. When I'll hold again, it has been turned off. Let's select a different feature. Right now, maybe the recording. So now I'll hold. I need to launch the screen, click on agree, and as you can see, the recorder app automatically launches, and it started a new recording, and now my voice is being registered, as you can see. On the bottom we have quick action for camera also, and we can enable it right in here. Double press the volume down button to launch the camera when the screen is off. We can also select the camera mode, so let's select, for example, normal photo. So now I will double tap volume down and the camera app launches. Also, cool shortcut. Okay, let's go out from this shortcut and accessibility settings, and let's go into Ultra Game Mode, because this device supports gaming. In here, as you can see, we have a lot of things that we can adjust into our own preferences. If you have some games, they will appear right in here. On the top, we have supported games. I have downloaded one game just to check it out, how it works. We have things such as super game resolution. Unfortunately, the Asphalt doesn't support that. Everything depends on the game, but let me show you how this mode looks like. So I will launch the game to show you what you can do. So basically it optimizes our gameplay. To launch the menu, we need to slide from the left side to the right side, and now we have the game tools such as game visual enchantment. We can block calls. We can enable the mismatch prevention. We can block the notifications so we won't get distracted during our gameplay. We can open up the performance panel, and if you want to have the best performance possible, you can select the boost mode for best performance. But remember that your battery consumption will be a little bit increased. Down below we also have the refresh rate. I always keep it on high when I'm playing games. In here you can also quickly change the brightness of your screen. So it's always good to use the game mode when you are playing some games. And I'll leave it to you to find out those other features in the game mode, because they're really, it's really cool to, you know, find everything by yourself. Okay, the settings one last time. I'm wondering if there's something more that I want to show you. Actually, yeah, when it comes to day-to-day use, we have the smart sidebar right in here. And in here you can see a list of apps that are currently in this bar. If you click on that arrow in the on the bottom, you can edit those apps. Simply click on edit, and now you can delete the apps from that bar and also add new ones from that list. Thanks to that, we have quick access into most used apps, and if you open one of those apps using the smart sidebar, those apps also launch in the floating window. It's really cool because thanks to that we can do multiple things on our device. So for example, let's say that we are counting something, and at the same time we can open up the Chrome and start scrolling the internet. Another cool thing is the split screen mode. We have two ways how we can launch it. We can do it from the recent apps. Simply next to name of each app you can find the small arrow, and you can enter the split screen from that mode. Click on got it, and now simply select the second app that you would like to use. But remember that not each app supports split screen mode. So let's try to launch maybe another app. I don't know what, maybe notes, just like that, and you can see that the screen has been split in half. On the top we have our calculator, and on the bottom we have our notes, and we can do two things at the same time. You can also adjust the size of those apps if you grab this bar in the middle, but be aware that if you go too much to the downside, and now when you release your finger, the calculator will launch in a full screen mode. If you click on those three dots in the middle, you can switch the apps, and you can select a new one. You can swap the apps and also add it as a combination, those two apps. Let's say that we are using the notes and calculator in this preset really often in a split screen. We don't need to each time open them manually and add them into the split screen. We can simply create a shortcut. So now click on add. I will close it just to show you that now I have a shortcut on my home screen. I'll tap on that and both apps open in the split screen mode already. Pretty cool thing, and it can save some time. Alright, and that's all in this video. Thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Hello, in this video I'm going to show you the best settings for gaming on Vivo X300. Okay, before we start playing a game, it's always good to open up the iManager, and in here you can check do you have possibility to click the optimize button. In my case I have that possibility, so let's simply do it. Okay, you can see that some junk files has been cleaned. Now click on done. And from here we can also go into space cleanup to clear some junk files. Currently the phone is scanning for them. In my case I only have 9 megabytes, so that's not much, but when it comes to you, there's a possibility that you will have more of it. Okay, also let's go into the battery manager right in here and let's select the boost mode. Thanks to that we will have the best performance possible, but you need to be aware that in that mode our battery consumption will be bigger, and also the device will heat a little bit more than normally. So for example, after the gaming you should turn off the boost mode and, for example, select the balanced, because overheating your device is not the thing that we want to do. Okay, also after that we can open up the recent apps, and if you have a lot of apps open in the background, simply close them manually. Thanks to that we will free up the RAM of our device, and it won't be stacked in those apps that are opened in the background. Okay, now let's launch our game and I'll show you how to select proper graphic settings for maximal performance. Of course, not each game allows you to change its graphic settings. I have picked the game in which we can do it, so let's open up the settings, then the graphics. And in each game, it's always good to select the maximum frame rate. When it comes to the Asphalt game that I have launched, it's up. The maximum value is 60, so it's not much, but always keep your frame rate as high as possible. When it comes to the advanced settings, it's up to you. If you want to have the best performance possible and most stable FPS, you should simply select the lowest graphics right in here. If you want to have the best quality, you can max them out, or you can find a preset somewhere in the middle. You can select the medium settings. You can, of course, manually shuffle and select everything into your own preferences. Also, our Vivo allows us to use the game mode. We have whole inbuilt menu. We just need to simply slide from the left side to the right side, just like that. And in here we have the performance panel, for example. And let's select the boost mode for the maximum performance. Okay, down below we also have the refresh rate. It's always good to simply select the highest value. If you open up the game tools, for example, you can enable the mistouch prevention, enable the motion control. So for example, nothing wrong will happen. Same thing with the background calls. We won't get distracted by incoming calls. Same thing with notifications. You can enable them. You can completely reject calls. And for example, also lock the orientation so the screen won't get rotated during our gameplay. And we also won't get distracted. Really cool thing. Alright, that's all in this video. Thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment and subscribe.
Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I will show you how to fix wireless reverse charging not working on the Vivo X300. Let's begin! First you want to go into the settings, then scroll down and go into battery settings. Then scroll down one more time and head into battery health and charging, and finally you can scroll all the way down. And here we should see the reverse wireless charging, and as you can see by default this is disabled. All you want to do is make sure that you have this enabled, and now we even have a tutorial on how to redo it. You want to place the wireless charging supported device on this device's back, and this feature will auto-disable in 1 minute if not used. And yeah, that's all for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Hello everyone, welcome to the HardReset channel, and today I'm going to show you how to enable the 200 megapixel Ultra HD mode on the Vivo X300. So if you want to take 200 megapixel photos, what we need to do first is open up the camera app and then go to the photo section and then tap on this little square icon on the top right. And here we have two modes. So we have 50 megapixel high resolution or 200 megapixel high resolution. And well, we're going for 200 megapixels right now. So this is the 200 megapixel mode. As you can see, it's now enabled. And if you want to take a photo, let me just take a simple photo really quickly. So it's going to process the photo. As you can see, this is what it's going to look like. It's pretty good quality. I mean, it's not the best photo, but if you want to check whether it's actually 200 megapixels, you can open up the photo itself, press on the icon on the top right with the eye, and here, as you can see, it's going to show you the resolution of the photo, and that is a 200 megapixel photo right here. So that is pretty much it. So thank you for watching. I hope this video helps you, and make sure to like and subscribe.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to the HardReset.Info channel. Today I'm going to tell you how you can easily fix that you have the lock screen pattern not recognized in your Vivo X300. So actually, this is a very common issue on every single phone, and what I do recommend, here I do have the PIN code, but it's all the same. Try to enter the just the password, your pattern lock, and when you enter your password many times as you can see wrongly, you'll see device is locked. Tap forget password, and here you'll see some instruction. You can go to vivo.com/nspassword to view details or contact our after sales service. And what I do recommend to do is to do not lose data. Is that you can go to the authorized service and give it as the warranty. Give it to them and let them have it fixed. Of course, you have to have the proof of purchase with yourself, and it's because the certain phones won't be fixed that easily, and you have to prove that you have a proof that you haven't stolen this phone, which is very important actually. And yeah, that's the one thing. The second thing is that you can go to the authorized service and have this fixed, but here for money, not for free. And the third thing, when you are able to lose your data and when you don't really care about your data, is to go to the recovery mode. To do so, hold the power button and the volume down button until you see your phone goes off and it vibrates. Then hold the volume up and power. Here, now click volume down and tap power button to enter the recovery mode. And wait a moment. Now you'll have to tap clear data and clear our data over here. Of course, you have to remember that you have to remember about your Google password, Gmail password, because here in the newer phones, like for example this one or any other phone, we do have the Google FRP, something called Google FRP. This is the blockade that limits you from using your phone. As for example, you can steal somebody's phone. I mean, not you, but someone can steal your phone. As you can see, clear your data from here without having access to it, and use your phone as it was his. And this is, as you can see, the blockage that will prevent the access, unauthorized access. And after the setup, during the setup process, you will have to log into your Google account that was here before the process of resetting all data. And actually, this is the only thing that you'll do. And that's it. Hope it helps you and have a nice day. Goodbye.
Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix speaker not working on your Vivo X300. So first, what you guys want to do is check the volume levels. So let's start off with unlocking the device. Now let's move on to the settings. And right here in the settings, we need to go to the sound and vibration. Now here, as you guys can see, my levels are okay. So there's no way I do not have a sound. Now, if you don't, then what you guys can do is try brushing the speaker grills. So the first one is actually up here, and we also have one at the bottom. So we want to clean them thoroughly using the soft brush or anything else to get rid of any dust that may have accommodated there. So now what you guys can do is disable the Bluetooth. So as you guys can see, my Bluetooth is already disabled, but if yours isn't, then you will see a blue switch instead of a gray switch. So you want it to be the gray switch to disable the Bluetooth to make sure that audio is not rerouted anywhere else. So for an example, headphones, car, or practically anything Bluetooth related. Now, what you guys can do as a last resort is restart the phone and then update your software. So we're going to start off with the restart. Let's press the power button and the volume up button. Now swipe right to restart the device, and I'll see you guys in a second. Now after the restart, if we want to check for software updates, all we have to do is enter the settings first. Then we need to scroll all the way down until we see the system update, and as you guys can see, it will check for updates automatically. I have the latest version, but if you don't, then you will see a button here to download the newest one. So that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, subscription, and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hello, in front of me I have Vivo X300, and in this video I'm going to show you the speed up tricks. Okay, let's open up our settings first. Let's scroll all the way down until we find About Phone. And now we need to click on Version Info, and we need to tap on our software version when it comes to the Vivo, until we see that we are a developer. If we have seen that notification, we need to go back into System Management, and down below we have the developer options. We need to turn them on, click on OK, and now we need to find 4 specific options that we need to adjust to get some performance and speed. I'll show you which one exactly. Okay, in here we have first 3. Animated duration scale, transition animation scale, and the window animation scale. As you take a look, all of them are set on 1x currently. That's their default value, but to improve the speed and the performance of our device, we can select them completely off, or we can at least put them on 0.5. For me, perfect balance, of course, between 1x and off is 0.5. So that's what I'm about to do. I'll select each option on 0.5. Simply remember that you shouldn't go above 1x because it will only slow your device. Okay, let's scroll down again a little until we find the apps and now the background process limit. Currently it's set on the standard, but we can select it on at most 3 or at most 4 processes. It's up to you. Okay, now we can close our developer options, and from here let's go straight into our battery and we can select the boost mode for best performance. But you need to remember that the battery consumption will be higher and your device will be simply warmer because it will generate more heat. So you shouldn't be using this mode for a long time because, you know, overheating your device is not the thing that you should do, and you should avoid that. But for example, for gaming, for like 1 hour a day, you can use that mode. From here, let's go straight into apps and into app manager. In here, simply, if you have some apps that you are not using, simply uninstall them. But be aware that some of those apps on that list are the system apps, so you're not available to uninstall them. And don't even try to, you know, force stop them or something like that, because something bad might happen. Simply uninstall the apps that you have manually downloaded from the Play Store. There is, of course, faster way to uninstall the apps. Simply find them on your home screen or in your app drawer, hold on the icon, and then click that bin icon to delete your app. But when it comes to that list in App Manager, in certain apps, we have possibility when we click on them, and then when we get in storage, we can clear some cache. For example, in my case, it's my browser, Chrome. And we can clear it. Don't worry, it doesn't delete any of your personal data. Cache is basically junk files that are stacked, and clearing them is recommended. So that's the thing that we can do from time to time. Okay, from here, we can close the settings for now. Let's open up the iManager, which is automatically downloaded on our device. And on the right side, we have the Optimize button. It's always good to click it when we have possibility. Alright, everything has been done. Click on the button down below. And again, we have gained some performance. In here, we also have the space cleanup. You can see that the phone is scanning for junk files. Okay, and we can clean 50 megabytes of junk files that are stacked on our device. And now they have been cleared. Really cool thing. So it's always good to do from time to time. Okay. Also, during day-to-day use, there is a chance that you have a lot of apps open in the background too. To open Reset Apps, simply click on this icon, or if you are using the gestures, you will have to slide to the upside from the bottom edge. And if you have a lot of apps open in the background, simply close the apps that you are not using because they're only taking your RAM away. And that also might be the problem. Why is your device running slowly? So it's always good to do. Also, if you want, from the Play Store, you can download some additional cleaning apps. But before downloading anything, it's always good to simply see the reviews about the app that you want to download, and also the ratings of other users. Okay, and as a last thing, I'll show you how to perform a simple reboot. Reboot is also recommended. For example, we can perform it once a week. During the process, our RAM also gets freed up, our phone rests for a moment, and it can also help with the speed and performance. To perform a reboot, we need to launch the power menu. We do it by clicking the power button and volume up button, just like that. Now, grab this second bar, slide to the right side, release your finger, and now we just need to simply wait until our device turns on. Again, it will be done automatically. Alright, and that's all in this video. Thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe.
Welcome. In front of me is a Vivo X300, and today I'll show you a couple of tweaks and the tricks you can do on this device. So let's start off by opening up our settings and first navigate to the first thing that I want to show. So I'm going to be going basically with the settings down the line that I found something interesting. So number one, we have the notifications and status bar. Now this seems like a very bland kind of place to look for tweaks, whatever. But because this is basically same thing as OnePlus, one big parent company, they actually have retained these nice options that include status bar icons. I genuinely love this. I wish every phone had this. So in here, you can get rid of garbage that will be visible right here in your status bar that you typically have enabled. So maybe you have Bluetooth always on. You don't care to see it in your status bar. You know it's on. It's always on. Same thing goes for maybe something like Wi-Fi, though I don't actually see it here. So I guess we don't have everything. Let's see, anything else? Bluetooth do not disturb mode might be something that I would want to turn off. Hotspot sometimes. Let's see, anything else now? We do have battery, though in here under the horizontal we should be able to also, oh there we go, it's right below that, have the option to show battery percentage. Now there is option to show inside of the battery the percentage, but this option only will be available to you with a horizontal battery. For things like the vertical, it's going to be always outside, and you can see there is no more, you can no longer select the last option right here. So just kind of flip that back how it was, as this is how I prefer. And there we go. So this gives us all the info while keeping it minimal. Now, unfortunately, it looks like NFC is enabled and I can get rid of this crap. Yep, so it is enabled. That was NFC. That is a bit disappointing. Oh well. Now, another thing in here is the style of notifications right here. So you can see I have right now 2 notifications. So these 2. And status bar only shows, I believe, 3 notifications. The moment it exceeds 3, it shows you then after that like 3 dots, and that's it. Now, we do have a nicer option in here, at least I consider this to be a nicer one, which is the number. So here, when you select this, it will show you the number of notifications you have instead of the tiny little icon, which usually it's sometimes, at least for me and my blind eyes, hard to kind of see what that icon even is for. I know, boomer problems here. This actually just gives me a number, and all I need to do is just swipe down and see what kind of applications are giving me notifications, but it will tell me obviously info about all the applications, not just like, oh, I have 3 plus God knows how many more. Swipe down to check. So yeah, this is my preferred option right here. Now let's go back, and we also have the always on display right here options, so we can apparently just not even turn it on. There we go. I'm gonna select agree. There we go. So as you've seen, there is this, or there was this little button right there to redirect you, which I have just left it. Damn it. Customize? Nope. I guess I will have to find a different way to get there. So that's most likely going to be in home screen, lock screen, and wallpaper, and always on display. There we go. So you can enable it from here, and you can customize it. So more always on display settings, display mode, top screen, or raise to basically turn on the always on. You can have it schedule, so it will run permanently for the specified scheduled time. You have all day, which will be a bit of a drain on your battery. So if you'd like to have your phone last as long as it possibly can, probably not the best option. One that I personally do like is the top screen to or raise. Primarily the top screen is what I use to have like always on display. So this is a pretty good option. Move phone slightly could be also a good option, but I personally like the top more. It's just much more convenient just to do this, and voila, it wakes. Just kind of give you a little bit of an example of what I mean. There you go. So same kind of principle. So you can change it to whatever option you want in here. And like I said, you can use all day if you like that. that's fine. Just be aware that you might have a little bit of a lower battery life, but this phone already has a enormous battery in here, so that might not be such a big problem. If you're wrecking something like this piece of shit right here, now that's a bit more of a problem, considering this phone barely lasts like, what, a day? So yeah, it has like basically half of this phone's battery. While being actually just showing that side by side, being almost identical size. Just makes you think a little bit. Anyway, here is the top two for the always on display. Anyway, let's get back. Now in here we also have some customization to our always on display, so we can change how it's being shown. Right now I only have the time, but which is pretty minimal. Also, this will change how much battery is being consumed. If you're going with the all day, depending on which one you choose, if it has way more on your screen, that will have a bigger battery drain than just, for instance, something like the time. So if you select something like this right here, you can see that there is... Can I get rid of this? Yes, I can. So you can see that there's much more happening on the screen with colors, a bit more brightness, and just more screen actually being utilized. And that will have a bigger battery drain. Now, the reason there is a difference between how much is visible on the screen or not is because these devices use OLED displays. And the way OLED works here is when something is purely black, like for instance this area right here, right? Let me just maybe clean the screen a little bit so I can see it better. Yeah, so this looks like a purely black screen around here. So all these spaces are just straight like black. And because of that, the area around here, where it's just straight black, is actually, the display isn't even on in this area. So the pixels there are basically turned off. They are not on, they're not consuming energy to be lit up because they don't need to be. There is nothing there. So when selecting, for instance, always on display like this one, at this point, you only have whatever pixels are lighting up these numbers and the day of the week, along with the date and percentage of battery. But if you consider, for instance, this one, there is much more happening on the screen right here. There is way more that needs to be lit up, like all this stuff here and here. So you can imagine that there's significantly more energy going to the display than there is with just the time and like whatever was right here. So again, whichever one you choose, you might see varying levels of battery life. Okay, so let's move out of here. And while we're already in the home screen, lock screen, wallpaper section, we can also check out some other things, like for instance the icons. Now we have a very kind of limited amount of icons, so we have only 2. But if you download more, they should show up right here as a choice for you to select. Now these 2 are basically the default options that come with this device, so I can choose from either one of those. You also have additional options regarding those icons, so you can change the size of them, as you can see, and you can automatically see the how it will look like on your home screen. We have also the roundness, so you can have them fully like circle or squircles, basically. You actually can't have like 90-degree edges for some reason, but okay. And we also have the option to show icon names, and you can get rid of them. I personally like to have this on, so I'm just going to keep it as it is. Another thing in here is the color and style, system and app UI color, so we can check that on, and you can see we now have control over accent colors like these ones right here. Let's see, anything else that I can quickly show? Okay, it's in a single format right now, which I just realized. But okay, so we have the options visible right here, which will be affected. So for instance, things like the timers, clocks, or whatever, you have the plus icon. They're all going to be basically whatever you select right here. Now, we have obviously entire color palette right here to choose from. You also have the default option, this one. Oh, no, never mind, that's not the default option, sorry. I just realized, give me a sec. Interesting. Is that even visible on camera? No, it's not. Okay, that is something that I'm going to point out that I just realized. So the white background right here, if you can call that a white. I mean, this is white around here. This area is not. This actually changes the tint depending on what you select right here. So right now it has a bluish tone to it. All like this area right here is kind of like more of a grayish tone to it. It actually has a bluish color. If I change it to green, it changes everything to greenish tint. Now, camera isn't really picking that up. Maybe on your end you can see it a little bit, I don't know. But I sure as hell can't see that happening on a camera, but I can see it definitely when looking directly at the phone itself. So, something to keep in mind. Now, apart from that, below that we have also pick colors from wallpaper. Now, just to check our wallpaper, we have the stock wallpaper right here. So, just a lot of bluish colors. And you can see that these options right here are relatively corresponding to basically our wallpaper. Now, if you change it to some other wallpaper that has a little bit more flair to it, a bit more color than basically like 2 colors that mine has, you might have much more varying colors to pick from right here. And these basically will apply to the entire system. And even when you change your wallpaper, it will keep whatever option would have been in this area, but adapt it to the new wallpaper. So it's a pretty nice way to basically match the color scheme of different toggles and all the other things around accent colors to the wallpaper that you're using. Anyway, let's move back. And here we have some other things like lock screen settings, dynamic effects, home screen. Dynamic effects I think are for like fingerprint. Let's see. No, never mind. Oh, okay. I was pretty sure we have this, but good that I checked it because I thought that it's somewhere else and I will be looking for this for a while. So we do have the home screen transition, which is basically the animation speed of the display or the opening animation. Now, moderate is basically the default one, but we have, for instance, efficient, which is just faster. And you can see automatically, this is also, I like this, the fact that they're giving you an animation of how it increases. So you can see if it's comfortable, it's much slower. If it's efficient, it's much faster. And you can also turn it off altogether if you want, and it just pops straight into view. Props for giving us visual animation on how this will look like. I really enjoy this. I do like to have animations, and I will give you... Okay, we need to select apply. There we go. So once you click on apply, that will change permanently. Now, I like this, specifically the efficient one, because with the none, there are still some things that will have animation that goes specifically for using gesture navigation. So when you have gestures, you will be swiping up, and that animation of where it's kind of like going from the full screen to this mode is animated as long as you're holding the screen. When you let go, it just pops into perfect kind of view, right? Yep. So with that in mind, it might look sometimes a bit jarring, though they do have some transition here. It's not actually like instantaneous like you would expect. So they are still doing a little bit of wonkiness happening here because it has a tiniest bit of fade between these. So it's not per se not animated because it does have fade, but it's still a bit faster than what you would normally experience. In general, I do prefer efficient. It's just increased speed of animations while still retaining them. So that's kind of why I like it. And in here, this single option actually basically changes animation all throughout the entire system. As typically these animations are separated into 3 different modes, which I'll show you right now, because maybe we can even increase the animation past what we just did. So we're going to go into About Phone, and we're looking for, I believe, build number, which I never can tell where that is. Battery, email, nope, definitely not here in this case. Hardware, model. Nope, not this. There we go. So it's software version in here instead of build number. When you click on that 7 times, it will enable the developer mode. So now we can go back, and we should have under, is it system management? Yep, system management, developer options. And here we're just gonna kind of start swiping down. And a lot of these are kind of unavailable to us, which is a bit odd. Interesting. Oh, it's for some reason not enabled by default. That's kind of odd. Even more. Okay, so let's see if I can find it now. There we go. So we have window animation scale, transition animation scale, and animation duration scale. Now I can already see that these are completely separate from the options that we have already changed. These are still set to 1x, which is the default animation speed. So we can go to all 3 of those, change it to 0.5, and this will increase our animations even further. So now these should be a little bit faster. And in here, I believe if we select in the developer options to be off, they actually possibly would be completely off without that kind of weird fade-in effect. Anyway, let's continue on to other things. So I'm gonna move back here to the top and move now to the display brightness and eye protection. Now we have things like the light and dark mode right here. With the dark mode, you're gonna get better battery life. If you are interested in checking that out, you can. What I would maybe recommend also checking out while talking about the dark mode is the schedule switch. This gives you a couple options: sunset to sunrise or custom timer. And what this will do is it will swap automatically from light to dark mode and later on back to light mode depending on the time of day. So for instance, during the normal daytime it will be in light mode, and then once the sun goes down, this option, it would automatically switch to dark mode. Now I feel like the dark mode is better utilized during the night time, so you don't get flashbanged by your own device, while in the typical daylight it might be easier to see your device with the light mode. So this would give you best kind of results for both of these time of days, right? And automatically swap between them. So it's a pretty nice option, and you can select the custom timer as well if you prefer that instead. And yeah, in general, it's a neat option that I recommend checking if you like the dark mode. Maybe you just don't like it all the time. Now, if we move further down, we should have, where is it? So we have screen options right here. I kind of like the fact that it's kind of in its own category. So we have screen refresh rate. We have a couple of modes: smart adoption, standard, and high. Now, newer devices, which this is a new device, so it doesn't really have this, but some brands, I guess, would be probably more accurate, started removing the high option right here because it's honestly just useless. Now the reason why it's useless is because the smart option already utilizes high, and high only serves to waste more battery. So if your smart option already runs to up to 120 Hertz, as high does, then these two options are basically the same. Now, in this one, it also says up to. The reason I'm kind of clarifying this is because some devices, when they have high, it runs the display at permanently 120. So it removes the power saving kind of finicky options that it has. Here, it retains it, so it's basically identical to the smart mode. Now, in general, I recommend either sticking with smart if you like the nice battery smooth motion right here, visual clarity in motion, then this will be the best one. But if you don't really see much of a difference between the smart and the standard, then you can select standard. This will run your display up to 60 frames, so basically half of what the smart does, but it will also get you better battery life, which is actually mentioned right here. So I do see a difference, and I do prefer the smoother motion, so I'm going to stick with the smart one. But for people that don't see a difference, which probably most of the time will be more elderly people, I might be a boomer, but I ain't that old, so I do see a difference, and also gamers, so definitely do see a difference here. So yeah, I do like this option more, and I don't really care that much about battery consumption just because of this specific feature. I am willing to sacrifice on that one. So anyway, select whichever one you prefer. Now moving on, we also have the screen resolution right here. We have Ultra HD and we have also HD. Now this is a tiny device, and honestly the Ultra HD resolution right here, or 1440p basically, is kind of useless. I'm gonna switch it to high, 1080p. So this will get me better battery life, and I, for the love of God, can never tell a difference if I'm running this at higher or lower resolution. So the only time I ever am able to see a difference is with the 720p. Now that is a significantly smaller resolution. Between these ones, I do prefer the bigger or better battery life over the supposedly high refresh rate, which I cannot tell. And lastly, in here we have also screen color. Now this is purely preferential. You have the natural, where this sure shit doesn't look natural to me, but okay. We have professional and we have the bright. Bright being the oversaturated one, which technically natural already is, but holy shit, that is, wow. Okay, yeah, this, in comparison, sure, natural looks natural. Wow, that is a freakishly oversaturated display. Whew. Now, between these two, the professional and the natural, I can barely tell the slightest difference in yellow tones. Other than that, I just genuinely cannot see a difference. But I do definitely see this one. Like, holy shit, that is insane. Now, this is all preferential. You can select whichever one you want. You also have the option below to change your color temperature. So this defines the overall tint to every color, and you can select a static one, meaning, oh, you can see the effect right here. Now, typically, what you usually see is the warm or cold, which is either this kind of yellowish tones or the bluish tones with cold. The default one is basically smack middle in the middle of the wheel, trying to attempt to display whatever would be the whitest white color. For reading books, you might be more interested in the yellowish kind of tones. The warmer one, this just looks more appealing to the eye. And also during the nighttime, it's a little bit better than the bluish one. Bluish ones are usually just a bit more harsh and not as pleasant. But again, this is preferential. In certain cases, your device might also, let me quickly check. Nope, never mind, there's no option for that. No, or is it? Oh, there is. Okay. So we do have an option for this. So eye comfort and protection, you can see right here, it was a redirect from the bottom right here. So the reason I'm pointing this out is because whatever you select right here will be completely disregarded if you go into adaptive color and turn that on. And this will then attempt to match the color temperature. So it will be changing this wheel depending on the environment lighting. So if you're out at, for instance, work with very kind of crappy fluorescent lights, which are bluish, your device will tend to the blue tones to match that lighting. So the display looks more similar to the environment that you're in, and everything else, like for instance paper, that would be in this light. And same thing goes, for instance, if you go outside, it would be most likely catering more towards the neutral, the middle ground, while for instance maybe if you're at home and you have lighting that is a little bit warmer, as people usually do, then obviously it will change to closer to the yellowish tones, and it will use the camera to basically define this and do it on the fly, so you don't need to pick one yourself right now. And in here we actually have decent amount of options. So we have anti-fatigue brightness, that's kind of interesting reading it. So intelligently adjust brightness based on screen on time and eye strain to ease fatigue. Now I have no clue honestly how well this will work, but if it works, this could be actually a pretty neat option. If you tend to have like eye strain from using the device, your eyes start to hurt or they're just drying up, maybe this will help you. Obviously, honestly, you can't go wrong with that, just trying it out to see how well it works. So I would recommend actually checking it out. And it might mean that we do actually first need to enable the eye protection. And we do, because I just saw the change in tone. So make sure you actually toggle that on in general if you're even planning to use this option, as it wasn't on till I toggled it on in here. Anyway, let's go back. And one more thing that I want to talk about in here, this will be a very niche option. It's the display in full screen. Now, this is a very niche, doesn't have anything in here. But I want to point out there are certain applications sometimes that will try to hide the camera and status bar right here. So they will give you a black bar. Those are usually apps that will try to run in full screen, maybe things like games, or one that I've experienced myself, which would have been the Steam Link application, which allowed me to stream games from my computer. This application specifically tried to hide the camera by just getting the entire black bar right here, removing the status bar, and obviously making the display a little bit smaller. So once you install such an application, it should be visible in here, and you'd have the option to change it so it uses the entire display, and you would see at that point the cutout in your screen. So I personally like that more over the black bar. Anyway, there was one more thing that I wanted to show in here, and that would be in system management and then system navigation. Here we have the gestures and buttons. By default, we have buttons. So that's basically what you would have. I personally like gestures, so I'm gonna select that. There we go. Actually, I just went completely retarded mode right here. So we had buttons, and okay. So yeah, I switched to gestures right now. That's generally what I prefer anyways. And in here, apart from just being able to change to gestures and so on, we have other things like hide indication bar, which is this bar visible right here at the bottom. Honestly, it serves no purpose really, so I just like to hide it. No, we're not gonna learn. Seriously. Oh, okay, turn on. Not. So when it's hidden, you no longer have this indication right here. And I want to check one more thing. Interesting. Swipe to bring up. Oh, it's turned off. There we go. Huh? Oh, it's the corner one. Oh, there we go. There's a circle to search. Okay, so it works now. Screw off. Does it still work? No, it doesn't. Okay, so I was kind of fiddling with this just to kind of showcase or learn if you can have it hidden or not. And unfortunately you can't. So number one, there's actually another option in here that I do use myself, and I find it very useful. It's a very misleading option called circle to search, and it doesn't work by circling to search. It actually works by holding the either the home button with buttons. So you'd hold the circle right here, or by holding the bar at the bottom, and it enables the Google circle to search. So you'd be able to circle to search, but it also is able to do much more than just search. So as an example, you can invoke this in areas where you cannot select text, like this one right here. And as you've seen, you can literally tap on the text, you can select it from here, and it automatically will search for it. You can also click on things like images, and it will automatically detect that it's an image and try to search for it. If you have an internet, I don't. So it's a very handy tool. You can also do some other things, like for instance, open up camera, point it at, let's just say something like a keyboard. Actually, not. Let's do this. One will be pretty good. So here's my phone. Cool. And point it at it. We're gonna hold the bar. So to enable circle to search, I'm gonna tap on the phone and get nothing again because I don't have internet. You know, let's turn it on. So let me just quickly connect. There we go. And you can see it automatically now searches for it. And it tells me that this is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus. Are you shitting me? You had one job. This is S25, not a Plus. So yeah, remove the Plus. It almost got the thing correctly. These phones are basically identical. So, I mean, if this was a really smart AI, it would be able to see the screen or the camera spacing size to the body and figure it out that this isn't the Plus. But for instance, the first option right here is correct. So this is the S25, the normal one, unlike that rating at the top. So besides, these are almost identical, so I guess I can't really fault it. Now let's try another thing, like the keyboard that I have right here. So again, there we go. Gonna click on it, and okay, it found it pretty well. So it doesn't really find the offer that has it, but I'm pretty sure with a little bit of a search you would be able to. These are some AliExpress keycaps that I bought. So if you find something like AliExpress, this would obviously work. And you can probably find them also, as you can see, on Amazon right here. So it does give me link to where I can get them, and also probably places where I can just find the link, like Reddit. So it works very well, and you can launch the camera for this as well. So just a little bit of a kind of a neat quick search, visual search that doesn't really, require you to use assistant and allow it access to camera. So yeah, pretty neat option right here. And like I mentioned, it only works when you hold it, and when you have circle to search enabled in here at the bottom, which looks to be turned off by default if I am correct. You also have the swipe to bring up digital assistant. Now this is kind of useless. There is a lot of different ways to bring up assistant, so we don't need a 10th way to do that, because we can do it by holding the power button, we can do it by swiping from the corner, we can do it by saying the phrase if you have that enabled, but it is an option. We can do that by literally clicking on a Gemini or clicking on the Google application, and they all do the same freaking thing. They all bring up the damn assistant. We can also use the little search bar right here to click on the little microphone, and it will also basically do the same thing, move us to Google, which also uses AI. So great, we can literally do AI in a bazillion different ways. Shit, if I could only reassign some of those to be actually useful for other things than Google trying to cram down my throat the same dog shit. Would be nice, but at last we can't. Though we can reassign how the power button works, so that's at least some brownie points here. Because by default, if you hold it, voila, you get this crap. So it uses Gemini, as you can see, Vivo with Google Gemini. Cool. We're just gonna actually, let's go back here. Can I bring it up? Yeah, damn it, I screwed it up. Because we can change that. So be nice if I actually write power. There we go. Power button. And we can basically turn off the Google Assistant, and we can do the power options instead right here. So that's one thing that I can change right here. Now, there's only one last thing that I wanted to show, and that will be the little Samsung-esque sidebar. It's barely visible right here, but you can see it faintly. You can swipe up on it, and the first time around it gives you this info. It is enabled by default, just so you know. So, got it. So you can see we have our applications right here. We can extend it to see all of them, very reminiscent of the Samsung UI. And apart from you being able to just straight up launch applications from here, and being able to access this bar in applications, as you can see, you have the options to have this kind of pop-up window, which you can minimize into this little app head right here. So you can do whatever you're doing in here. You can bring this up at any point, continue to use it. There we go. And we should also be able to do this. So as you can see, when you have it in this pop-up, you can grab it and drag it to the top, and it gives you this grayish area. So if you drop it, it will split screen it. And you can do this also at the bottom. So there we go. Additionally, we can also click right here and you can swap it. So basically top to bottom. And even furthermore, we can add combination, which this one will be the nicest option right here. So when you select add, you can select add automatically. Cool. And now we should have, there we go, our app combo as just a straight up single application that we can launch right now. So let me just close this. Let's just close all of this. Click on this and it automatically opens up both of these applications that I have saved. So it allows me to instantly jump back to multitasking without any kind of hassle whatsoever. And I personally really like this option specifically. It's a pretty handy option for instance, YouTube and browsing the web. So if you don't use something like YouTube Revanced, which I highly recommend, as it basically allows you to play videos in the background without paying the damn subscription. It's something that we were used to able to do, but you know, enshittification on everything basically took that away. So you can use Revanced for that, but if you don't want to, or in the future you can't, because Google is just a bunch of cunts and they basically try to remove freedom of installing side-loaded APKs, then this will be one of the ways to circumvent this. You can browse the web and have YouTube on the top, for instance. Can shrink it. So you would be able to play YouTube videos in here while basically browsing the web at the bottom. Pretty handy, I would say. That was something that I used before I found it Revanced, but ever since it kind of, for me, became useless. So as long as I can use Revanced, I don't need this, but I just want to warn you in the future, if you're going to check out the application that I'm telling you, it won't be available for probably much longer, because in 2026, Google wants to basically make it mandatory for developers to pay them money to be able to have applications signed, so you as a user can install these applications. And that's their way of, quotation mark, fighting against malware application. Now, what they're referring to malware isn't actual malware. It's basically apps that take away the ability for them to make money. So it's malware in this kind of sense that they can't monetize it. So they did, by literally just extorting money from people that shouldn't be extorted. For God's sakes, if you're making an application, you shouldn't be blackmailed into literally paying money to be able for people to use this application. It's like if Windows decided you no longer can install applications from anywhere but our garbage-ass Microsoft Store, which developers need to pay us money to be able to post there. Like, does that seem absolutely fucking retarded? Because to me it does. And I don't think this is even acceptable. Hopefully European Union will get to their ass and this will go away once it comes into life in 2026, which is right around the corner. Jolly old goodness, I can't wait. But in any case, this basically sums up the video, and I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, don't forget to smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to fix touchscreen not responding on your Vivo X300. So first, what you guys want to do is remove the screen protector or case because it can cause the interference, and let me explain why. So, if you guys got the case and it's covering even a tiny part of the screen, then it can already be understood that someone's touching it. So as you guys can see, now my finger is touching it and I cannot move this finger around the screen. Now I was holding this finger for too long, but as you guys can see, I cannot use this finger here. So this is what can it do, and if that's the case, then you guys can try remove it and see if that works. Now for a screen protector, if it's poorly applied or it's just a poor quality one, then that's already an issue, and I would recommend you guys removing it and getting a new one, which is definitely better quality and everything else. Now what you guys can do is grab your microfiber cloth and clean the screen with it. So here we have the microfiber cloth. Let's give it a few scrubs and our screen should be beautiful and shiny. So after cleaning our screen, what you guys can do is restart the phone. So hold the power button and the volume up button at the same time. Now switch to the volume down button. You will see that it basically mutes your phone, and we need to hold it for at least 10 seconds to force restart the device. As you guys can see, the screen went black, and after we see the Vivo 5G, we can let go of the keys right here. So now all we have to do is wait, and I'll see you guys in a second. Now after the forced restart, as you guys can see, our phone turned on, and I'll enter the password now. And as a last resort, what you guys can do is update your software to fix any glitches. So go to the settings and swipe all the way down until you guys see system update. Here it will check for updates automatically. As you guys can see, I already have the latest system version, but if you don't, then I recommend you guys updating it, as it's very important to keep track with your software. So that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, subscription, and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video I will show you how to fix Wi-Fi not working on Vivo X300. Let's begin! So, first of all, in order to fix any bugs or like smaller issues related to your Wi-Fi, all you want to do is just disable it. Just for a moment. You can leave it disabled for about 15 seconds, maybe 30, and after that you can enable it back. And with that, congratulations, you have rebooted your Wi-Fi module inside your phone. And that should clear out any smaller or like just very tiny bugs. However, there is a very high chance that this did nothing to you. And if that's the case, we want to press and hold onto the Wi-Fi icon and go into more Wi-Fi settings. And now we want to do something that's called repairing or reconnecting with our network. So we want to remove the network from the memory of our device and then connect to it once again. We can do that by going into the arrow here and then just deleting the network. And now, as you can see, our phone basically will behave like it never connected to that network in the first place. We want to navigate it one more time, and now we can input its password, or alternatively you can scan the QR code with the password from, for example, some sort of family member inside your home, or like co-worker or something like that. So after you have inputted your password, you can just go into OK, and congratulations, you have paired with your password with your network once again. And did that do anything? Well, that should clear out any additional bugs. However, if that still didn't do anything, and if you still have no Wi-Fi whatsoever, then unfortunately it's time to actually start paying attention not to our phone, but instead to the router itself. Now, I can't really show you this from obvious reasons, because there are many different models of the routers, but what you want to do is just you want to check if, like, for example, LEDs aren't flashing red or something like that, is something not unusual happening, and if not, you can just unplug it from electricity. Seriously, you can just unplug it, make it turned off for like maybe a few minutes, maybe like 3 minutes or something, and then you want to plug it once more time. And after you do that, we should have our nice router rebooted. And with that, of course, the rebooting of the router takes some time, like it can even take a very long time, but usually that is enough for you to just do whatever you want to do. And technically that is all for this video, but sometimes there is just some sort of situation that even rebooting the router itself doesn't do anything. And if that's the case, well, I'm sorry, but you just have to contact your internet provider. I actually had certain situation like this recently, when the router just randomly died for like half a day, and how many times like restarted the router, rebooted my phone, nothing was really helping, until I called the internet provider, and then they told me that there's some sort of like breakage in my area and there's nothing I can do about it. Only they can do something about it, and they actually did, like a couple of hours later, but they did. So yeah, One more time, you can just disable or enable Wi-Fi to quickly reboot the Wi-Fi. Then you can unpair and repair with your connection with your network. Finally, you can reboot your router, and after that you can just call the internet provider and ask them if anything is going okay in your location. And yeah, that's all for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. See you next time. Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I will show you how to fix your battery percentage not showing on Vivo X300. Let's begin! So, as you can see, currently I just have no way of checking my battery. I have this little circle icon, but there is no percentage bar and there's really nothing else. So, how can I possibly fix it? Well, first of all, we want to head into our battery. Then we can scroll down into battery settings. Did I say battery? We want to go into settings, then battery settings, yeah. And then you want to scroll down into battery style and percentage. And here we have two main options. First of all, we have the battery style, which will show up as these different icons. And if we have set either to circle or vertical, we can just go and display outside battery our total percentage. However, with horizontal, we also have third option of displaying it inside battery, just for this little smooth experience and display. And yeah, that's actually all for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Hello everybody, welcome to our channel. Today I'm gonna tell you more about camera on Vivo X300. So the Vivo X300's main rear camera is a 200 megapixel sensor designed HPB, sized 1/1.4, aperture f/1.68 with autofocus and optical image stabilization. And what does this mean in practice? Well, ultra high detail videos and photos. The 200 megapixels main sensor means extremely high resolution, which allows you to crop into shots and still retain good detail. For example, zooming in on a subject while still maintaining clarity. The marketing emphasizes see every pixel. Another thing is a good optical zoom capability. The 50 megapixels telephoto periscope lens grants more reach than a standard telecamera, meaning better distant subject photography. For example, wildlife, events, or more. Wide angle flexibility. The 50 megapixels ultra-wide allows capturing more of the scene, landscape, architecture while maintaining a high resolution. Another thing is a strong selfie or vlog potential. 50 megapixels front camera with an autofocus and a wide field of view, 92 degrees, means better looking self-portraits and video calls. Next up, a low light and stability assist. The presence of OIS on the main sensor and telephoto helps reduce blur from shaky hands or movement. The adaptive flash helps in varying zoom, focal length situations. Brand optics and finishing. The ZEISS branding suggests higher quality lens, coatings, optics designs, better control of aberrations and flare, which is a strong hook for your viewers. Considerations of the camera. Having 200 megapixels does not automatically guarantee better real-world photos in all conditions. Sensor size, lens quality, image processing, software matter a lot. Telephoto zoom, while there's a periscope lens, the effective zoom factor, optical versus digital, may not match high-end ultra-zoom phones. Viewers might want comparisons. Ultra-wide and front cameras are high resolutions, but wider lenses often trade off some sharpness or edge distortion. Still, the numbers are strong. Real-world testing. Lightning dynamic range video stabilization is important to see how the hardware translates to daily use. So basically that's it. So thank you for watching and subscribe for more.
Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix screen flickering on your Vivo X300. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the settings, and right here in the settings, we need to find the display brightness and eye protection. Here, we need to adjust our brightness, so you guys can adjust it up to yourself. You guys can either max it out, you guys can lower it out, and here is, I think, the best setting, a bit more than the 50% mark. So make sure to disable the auto brightness right here, and after that, what you guys can do, if there are still some issues, go over to the Play Store, and in the Play Store download an app called the Screen Dimmer and then OLED Saver. Here we need to ignore the sponsored ads and go straight for the app right here. It has 100k plus downloads and 4.3 star out of 659 reviews. So this app is only 1 megabyte. As you guys can see, it installed instantly. So let's click on open. And now we need to give it permissions. So the first one is to modify the brightness. Now the next one is to update the overlay whenever we're turning on, let's say, a keyboard or just rotating our screen. So here we need to swipe all the way down until we see downloaded services, click on screen dimmer and enable it right here. Now we need to wait 10 seconds until we can click on allow. And as you guys can see, this is a highly sensitive permission and the app needs it to actually update the brightness. Now the last one is to to send us notifications, and we want to allow it. And as you guys can see now, we can easily change our brightness. So we can set it like that. As you guys can see, it looks perfect. And if we don't want it anymore, we can just turn off the service and it looks like this now. So as a last resort, what you guys can do is head over into the settings. Now let's leave the display brightness and eye protection and scroll down until you guys see the system update. Here we want to check if we have the latest software version. If we do, then that's great, but if you don't, then I recommend you guys updating it. It's very important to keep your software up to date. So that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, subscription and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hello guys, welcome back to the HardReset.Info. Today I'm going to tell you how to fix Bluetooth not connecting on your Vivo X300. So actually, it's very easy. At first, go straight to the settings on your device and tap on the Bluetooth. Here, as I can see, I do have it disabled, so make sure that yours is enabled, and when it is enabled, disable it and enable it back again, just to make sure that all the sensors are resetted. And this is the first tip. If it works for you, that's nice, but if it doesn't, find your device in the available devices list. For example, this one, let it be this one, tap this device and tap forget and just repair your device. It should be that easy. And after the repairing process, you should be able to connect to your device. It's maybe some issue with the device itself, I mean your secondary device, for example your headphones, and it's just recommended to reset the connection from time to time. So that's the second tip for me to you. The third tip is that you can actually restart your phone. Wait a moment. Volume up plus power. Click volume up plus power. Click and hold these two buttons and swipe to power off your device here. Actually, you can swipe to restart over here. And why it's recommended? We will reset all the sensors, all the modules in our phone, especially the Bluetooth module, and it should fix our phone. Apart from that, meantime, we can just restart our secondary device, which can be our headphones, our speaker, or any other device that you want to connect. So now we can unlock our device with our PIN code. And now we can check if we can pair to our device. If we can't, I do recommend to go in the settings back again, scroll down, and here tap System Update. As you can see, as for the 7th of November 2025, here we do have the latest Android version, which is Android 16, and there can be some issues. It's because this OS is almost like new. So wait for the updates and update your phone immediately. If you do have some updates pending, update your phone. It's because the issue may be actually already fixed. And that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and leave a like under our video. It's very important to us to have your feedback, so please comment, leave your opinion in the comment section down below. And as I said, that's it. Hope it helps you, and goodbye. Have a nice day.